I think we're live. Are we live? We're live. We are live. What's goody? What's goody? Boxing talks in the afternoon. Let me retweet for the people on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. There you go. I bet. Yeah, interesting conversations on Twitter, man. Just different subjects. A lot of narratives are being shut down. A lot of little things going on that I don't necessarily want to do a segment about because there's either not enough there to do a segment or I've already addressed it several times. What's goody old dirty? What's goody Snoop? Yeah, I mean? And yeah, man. What's goody Spotlight? What's goody Avo? Noel, que lo que? Antonio, que lo que? Ya sabe, manín. And yeah, man, there's a lot of talk about an interview that Chris Eubank Sr. did. I watched the interview. It is kind of bizarre. Like it is, he's acting really weird in the interview. For those familiar with Chris Eubank Sr., he's always been very eccentric. He's always been very unique. But he was in rare form in this particular interview. I'm the king. He's going crazy, man. You know what I mean? And I can only say now what I said before. I believe that he's still grieving. He lost his child a year ago. And, you're not really going to get over that. You know what I mean? All the behaviors that we've seen earlier this year in reference to the Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn fight, that he was opposed to it. He was against it, citing the weight of the match as his main issue against the fight. And if you just lost a son and you got another son that you feel might be put in harm's way, well, that might make you act a little bit strange, and that's what I think that was, that he was acting, he's still acting very peculiar, but it's because the man lost a child. So, I'm not in a hurry to poke fun over what, how he's behaving, because that man is probably in a lot of pain. Who knows what he's doing to cope with the loss? That's not some shit that a year later you just going, everything going to be cookie crunchy a year later. So, what's goody, Alfredo? Que lo que, manín? Stuart, what it do? What it do? Big Hova in the building. Yeah, man. And yeah, yo. Like, I think that a lot of what we're seeing from Chris Eubank Sr. is basically that's a dude that's in pain. Yeah, I mean, he going through a lot. Psychologically, it's wearing on him, and he's coping as best as he can. And like I said, I'm not in a hurry to poke fun at the peculiarities of how he's behaving, because in all likelihood that man is still in pain. Unless you're a parent, you can't imagine that kind of nightmare, and you don't want to. A parent having to bury a child is, you know what I mean? So that's what I think that is. You know what I mean? Let me respond to this. Not reflect on their own fight. And yeah, this Crawford and Spence thing is still going on. I called into the Boxing Voice because they had a space, or rather they were doing a live, and they had a space on Twitter, and it was just an interesting conversation. All the stuff that Bud is saying, that basically his legacy is set and Errol's isn't. And I did a video about it last night that if you're a two-time lineal, two-time Ring Magazine, 3-division, former undisputed, current reigning champion, you getting in the hall off of that. The internet, and I said this to Nesta Gibbs, shout out to him, shout out to the Boxing Voice. I said that when I called in, that like if they retire today, Bud has a solid case to get into the hall, but Errol, no, not so much. All you did was unify. There's lots of unified champions. There have been a lot of unified champions. Jared Hurd was a unified champion. Julian Williams was a unified champion. MJ Akhmadaliev, Stephen Fulton, they are unified champions. Beterbiev is a unified champion. But is that by itself enough to get into the Hall of Fame? And like I say it all the time, the internet has a way of giving you a false presentation of things, because in reality, all those things matter. You know, that you're a 3 division champion. Whereas if you talk to Errol Spence Jr.'s fans, what they like to do is relegate his accomplishments to the welterweight division. That's not how resumes work. You know what I mean? That's not how that works. You know, you want it to work that way because Errol has only ever been a champion at one weight. So the way that you try to even the playing field is to handicap Bud, when in reality, Bud already has a case to get into the hall. Errol don't. You never even helped the Ring magazine. You never even been lineal. You probably never will be. He ain't going. I don't know. Like, he could probably go up to 54 and win a vacant title, but that's not the same as Bud. Bud didn't just win titles. He was Ring magazine and lineal. Shout out to my man Drew. Thank you, Jules. Bring some balance to this damn buffoonery. Just heard the PBC shill who's employed by them say Lara is a draw and other nonsense. Less cards each year. Yeah, Lara was never a draw. He wasn't a draw when Canelo fought him. He's not a draw now. Anybody saying that is full of shit. And that's the problem with a lot of these arguments that people have on Twitter and social media. Many of them are not actually worth having. On what planet is Erislandy Lara a draw? Because it ain't this one. Is he a skilled fighter? Yeah, very skilled. But is he a draw? No, he wasn't then. He still isn't now. What is he drawing? Wasn't he just on an undercard? Is he even headlining shows anymore? Well, I mean, from what I saw, Dennis, I don't think that Choi is mad. It looked like she playing ball because the WBA, before that order came down, it already looked like she was playing ball. Like, it already looked like she was down to fight Alicia. So I don't think she pissed per se. It's time, yo. It's time to do it. It's time to get it cracking. You know what I mean? That's all it is. I'm sure Choi was willing to fight Alicia. Yeah, like it's just time. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's time to get it done. You know what I mean? Shout out to Emma. You seen that delusion? Oh, yeah, did I? I watched that shit this morning. I was making my coffee. I had it playing in the background. I just hit play, went to make my breakfast, drink my coffee, eat my croissant. I'm listening to this shit. I'm like, yo, wow, dog. She real mad. Like, she like for real salty mad. Like, you for real mad. I can't say it's unexpected. That's what I expected. You know what I mean? That's what I expected. You know, she gonna say what she gonna say, and all of that is good. All I know is I picked Alicia, dog. That's all I know. I picked her to win. She won the fight. That's all I need to know. Anything beyond that, bulla y peo. Bulla y peo. What does Choi really have outside of Alicia? I mean, she keep modeling. Choi is a model over there. She's a pretty girl, pretty lady. What's goody Jules in chat? Que lo que? You know that stupid dude threatened Coach Malachi multiple times and say his name? That's wild. Choi is dog food. Yeah, Choi about to get, God bless her, but she just don't have the defense for that fight. That's the main thing. Alicia could hit her with a lot of different kind of punches. She could hit her with an overhand right. She could get inside, jab away in, hit her with a left hook. She could hit her with a lot of shit because Choi's bread and butter is offense. Choi is, she's tall for a super featherweight. She's tall for a super featherweight, and she do that Jarrett Hurd type shit where she want to just lean in on you and bear over you and throw punches on the inside. And if she try to do that to Alicia, she gonna get knocked out, man. And that's how I have it. I think she gonna get knocked out. But I like that the undisputed title fight at super featherweight, it might end in a highlight reel knockout, which will then further Alicia's celebrity and Alicia's profile. She's still out here beating people, knocking people out, dressing fly, got the belts, doing shows, calling fights, all the shit. I fucking told y'all years ago, you know what I'm saying? I told y'all that, like, yo, that kid has it. And if she gets a chance, I'm telling you, that kid has it. Another one, Senicia Estrada. I fucking told y'all about her. I said, like, yo, she got it, man. You're not going to be bored watching her. And she good on the mic. She talk good with people, all that shit. Like, she got it. You know what I mean? Zarina McCoy, that's another one. I'm waiting for her breakthrough because she not with nobody major right now. But I see a young fighter that also has those strengths, that this is a really good boxer. They're very young, so they have many years of boxing ahead of them. You know what I mean? They intelligent. They know how to talk. They got charisma. They know how to present themselves. It's a lot of fighters like that, man. At least here in America, it's a lot of fighters that need that spotlight. That's one of them. Zarina McCoy is one of them. And I think that she'll probably be next. She was talking about she wanted a Sinisi Estrada fight, but I don't think she's going to get it because I'm not sure that Zarina can make 105 pounds no more. Zarina was always very big, very long, I should say, for the divisions that she was at. And she's very young. I think she's like 21. She's very young. So her body and all of that is still growing. And I don't really think she could get down to 105. I don't think she could get the minimum safely. So I don't expect that fight happens. She did a Fight Hype interview, I think it was, where she was calling Senicia out this past weekend at the Top Rank show. But I don't really think that fight is going to happen because Senicia is already 30. She's already mature. You know, she's not going to get any bigger. But Zarina's only 21, and she's, you know, tall for the weight. Tall, not tall in real life, but tall for a flyweight or a super flyweight. Like, yeah, she tall for them low divisions. And I don't think she could get down that low. You know what I mean? I don't really think she could get down that low anymore. I ain't rocking a Gumby, man. My shit leaning to the side. Leave me alone. Trying to make me feel self-conscious out here. Fuck you. Estrada look good. Yeah, man. We Latino age like fine wine, man. I'm fucking 50, bro. Never know it. Fucking 50 out here, bro. Out here getting it. Best female fighter in the world in 2 years is Raven Chapman. I'm very high on Raven Chapman. I'm a big fan. Very gracious, you know what I mean? Very hospitable with her time, you know what I mean? Whooped some ass this past weekend. I recorded the fight. It was a good fight. I uploaded it to my other channel that I use just for highlights, the archive highlights. And she's a special fucking fighter, man. 126 about to be on fire. Shout out to my man JJJ. Yeah, I got the fresh fade, man, but fucking Bobby Light tried to play me, yo. He tried to say I got the Gumby, the old Arsenio Hall shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my hair lay to the side, bro. That's all. The shit move in the wind. It's windy where I'm at. Motherfucker gonna try to play me. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can't be nice to me. And yeah, you know, one of the more interesting points in the boxing voices live is that one of those Twitter rejects, the Ari guy or Ari, whatever, Ariana Grande, whatever the fuck his name is, he tried to call in trashing Julius Ndongo, and coincidentally, Nesta Gibbs, he made the exact same argument that I've made for many years. What you look like calling an unbeaten two-division champion, an unbeaten unified champion who won both his belts on the road, what you look like trashing him? What you mean he not elite? That don't make sense. If he not elite, how he knocked out Troya in one round? If he not elite, how he outboxed Ricky Burns in Glasgow? How he not elite? You confusing pound for pound with elite. Now, I ain't telling you he pound for pound. No, he not pound for pound. He ain't in that conversation. But at the upper echelon of 140 pounds at that time, yeah, he was elite. Who the fuck out? Of course he was elite. Shout out to Drew. They believe these low-level employees will go on Twitter Spaces over C-level executives who talk to Forbes and Yahoo Finance. Yeah, motherfuckers, man. You can't argue with motherfuckers like that, man. Like, the only reason you might see me bring somebody on here, right, that I know they dumb or something like that, right, but they want to argue with me, is because I'm going to get money to do it. In reality, if you talking to people like that on Twitter, you wasting your time, fam, because how you look saying he not elite when the only two champions at the weight at the time was Bud and Ndongo. Now, if Ndongo kept getting his ass whooped after that, that's something else. That don't have nothing to do with Bud beating him when he was an unbeaten unified champion who won both his titles on the road. And you let these kids tell it, oh, he wasn't elite. He wasn't elite. My God, you think Gervonta Davis is elite and he ain't win no title on the road. You think he elite and he not even a full champion. You think he elite. just off of your own little opinions and shit like that. Like you Eddie Futcher somebody. Like you cuts the motto. You think too much of yourself. The reality is when Bud fought Ndongo, Ndongo was elite at 140. Was he pound for pound? No. Nobody say he was pound for pound, no. Was he elite at 140? He was. At that moment in time, yeah, he was elite because he won 2 alphabet titles on the road. If it's easy, why don't you see more motherfuckers doing it? Why Charlo ain't unified at middleweight? Why not? Why not? Hey, what's goody sporting? Post the link for the people on Twitter. Post the link for my man Sporting. It's for my man Sporting for the afternoon talks. I got text messages coming in. Matter of fact, I'm about to send Sulem the link, man. We gonna talk shit. We finna talk shit. I'm about to send Sulem the link. It's real shit out here, yo. It's real shit out here. You know what I mean? And they just like to play a childish game. And boxing doesn't really work that way. That's why I don't dwell on it too much. That a lot of the stuff and a lot of those arguments, that's why I mock them, because in reality, shit doesn't work that way, bro. It's not easy to win a title on the road. It's not. When they brought Ndongo to Russia to fight Troyanovsky was a knockout artist at the time. He was an unbeaten fighter. And Ndongo did not have no major promotional outfit behind him. He was a massive underdog in that fight. He was they brought him there to get parked. He was an underdog, and he knocked that motherfucker out in 1 round. Oh, that's not elite. All right, it's not elite then. Fuck it. Trying to get Sulem on here so we could chop it up. Sulem, if you listening, man, you better fucking join this live, dog. We got to talk shit. Right? We got to talk shit about all the haters. We got to talk shit, all right? It's time to talk shit. Talk some shit. And yeah, like, I just, like they act like because he started losing fights that he wasn't elite when Crawford fought him. Bro, when Crawford fought him, it was literally just him and Crawford. It wasn't no other champions. It was just him and Crawford. So who the
Good afternoon, everybody.
Stop.
So who the fuck else was elite at the time if it's just Bud and Ndongo at 140? And they'll go to the go-to or, oh, it was a weak division. Man, suck my dick with that weak division bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers pull that shit out whenever it's convenient. It's a weak division. Nah, you got a weak argument, motherfucker.
That's don't like Bud. They never have. That's what it is.
That's all that bullshit is, man. Like, get the fuck out my face with the weak division. Man, motherfucker, you high watching Javante going 12 rounds with Gamboa. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Silly ass motherfuckers. Shout out to my man Sporting Icons. What's going on over there in the UK, man? How them Tyson Fury tickets selling?
Not sold out yet. We know that much. What a surprise.
Well, that's a shock.
You know what I'm saying? I saw the new interview Sporting with fucking Fury where he's back on his mental health shit. And I can't help but think that he's doing that now because he needs a new angle to get people to like him because he's been a bit unlikable the last couple of weeks.
It's the safety net, isn't it? You go back to that one.
Yeah.
He says that, when I was retired, for 4 months, even though you kept holding the WBC belt, when you were retired, you went back to your dark place. Did you? You're out singing freaking Sweet Caroline songs. I mean, how long did that take? You wrote a book. You're in the gym every day. You're out there chastising them. Come on. There are no mental health there.
It gets to the point to where, you want to treat the subject matter with reverence because, mental health is a real issue. But with Tyson Fury, there's always a feeling that you're exploiting this. You're exploiting this. It feels like you're exploiting this.
It's only a matter of time before it comes out where somebody leaks something. The whole thing was bullshit.
I mean, you know what the thing is, if you and I don't know that anybody has ever done this per se, but did you go to a real psychiatrist? Were you diagnosed? You know, I don't know if he was or wasn't, but it just feels like, yo, you just exploiting this shit.
Was he prescribed medication? Does anybody know that? Like,
no, apparently he refused to seek medical help. He's self-healing.
Yeah, see, that's what makes this, real people that have these issues, and a part of the stigma that they have that in society.
Right here, or you want Olympics?
All right, who got all that shit going on in their background?
Ain't me.
Not me.
A part of the stigma that they have is the medications they have to take, which affects how they behave in society. And it seems to me like, fam, did you actually see a doctor? Were you actually given prescription medications to balance you out? Because I get the sense that you're just a lying. I just get the sense that you're a pathological liar.
Well, he's self-diagnosed bipolar, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Did a doctor tell you that, or did you come to that conclusion?
He came to that conclusion because people online get born in bipolar.
You know what I mean?
If you're supposed to be like taking medication, you're not supposed to be drinking. And last time I saw him like out and about, like he was in Madrid and dude was all tipsy and shit.
Yeah, and when he was in Iceland, they was drinking beer, and that's what raised suspicions for me, because I'm like, look, people that take those kinds of medications, they actually can't drink because of the medication. So I'm like, what disorder do you have exactly? What do you have?
Talking bullshit. That's the disorder.
There you go.
People take medication for depression, that they take medications for that. You saying
he ain't fucking depressed, bro. He ain't fucking depressed, bro. It's all a gimmick, bro. He's just that fat fuck always wants to run around. We might be a little bit upset, but being depressed and being upset, two different things.
But see, you know what this shit is? It's like, is it possible for somebody to have that? I don't even know that he was clinically diagnosed with that condition, like, because nobody asks. I'm like,
so he said he was clinically diagnosed as bipolar. Is that what he says?
I don't know. No, he doesn't, which is why I'm wondering who told
exactly.
you.
And then you're the bad guy, Jules, for bringing this shit up. Like, where's it? Is it true or not? You get the Fury fucking Flomos on here mad at you for asking poignant questions.
Hey, I think, Jules, look at the fucking era we're living in, bro. Look at this generation. Even, bro, a 6'9", 6'9" motherfucking gypsy is talking about depression, bro.
Hey, here's a fun fact for you. I was in the gym.
Go, my man, Jose. Show everybody your face, bro. Go ahead, Jose. Que lo que, manín?
Doctor.
Motherfuckers gonna have to start coming on camera, with the exception of my man Sporting. I know that he likes his privacy, and I respect that, and I absolutely sympathize because I get too much shit. Motherfuckers making fun of my haircut. Fuck you, Bobby Light.
By the way, not a doctor, I'm going to
Fuck you, Bobby Light.
That would hurt. Hey, Jules, that would hurt, yeah?
He's doing an autopsy on Wilder.
By the way, I'm not a doctor.
Hey, don't talk about man's haircut, bro.
Out here feeling fly shit.
Hey, why you think I ain't been on camera? I'm growing my hair out, so I can't do nothing with it.
Jules, I'm on my camera game. Check it.
Yeah, I see
bro,
you.
I look like a Taliban right now, bro, with my beard and my hair, bro.
After I saw
don't make me grow my hair, bro. You gonna think I'm from fucking you gonna think I'm Kaza Soze, bro. Don't make me grow my hair.
Oh no, you gotta grow your hair for season 2 of Gigolo. Bernthal got his hair longer.
Yeah, I do. I put a stunt double. But on some real shit, like, all jokes aside, all fuckery aside, these clinical conditions that he claims to have are actually serious clinical conditions that require medication, because essentially what you're saying is that you're chemically imbalanced. And in those situations, when you're diagnosed, you're given prescription medications that you have to take. So when he says that the dark place this and the dark place that, and I just be wondering, like, yo, I don't want to be insensitive or cavalier with what is a sensitive subject, but realistically, you're running around drinking alcohol and doing it openly. So you can't be doing this if you're on medication, let alone you can't be boxing if you're on medication, can you?
Well, he's not on medication. Can I just say real quick?
There's 10 people trying to talk. Go ahead, Sporting.
Okay, now it ain't just that. You see, you have to remember with all the things that apparently he's done, where he went full speed ahead over a bridge in his Ferrari, who's going to go off, he's going to kill himself, all this kind of thing, and he's going back into these dark places. That's an alarm for a lot of people to go. Maybe you need some psychiatric help. Maybe we need to take you out of the public because you're a danger to yourself and potentially others. Okay,
That's what it sounds like.
Now, the thing is, see, I get like a lot of criticism from the Tysonettes, as we call them now, that they are they're so emotionally invested in Tyson Fury, and Sporting Icons is a hater and Ring IQ is a hater and everything. But I'm gonna really piss them off now because I was in the gym just under a week ago, and there's somebody who knows Tyson very, very well. They've had a conversation about me, and apparently Tyson Fury wants to buy me a beer. How about that? all these Tyson Fury fans, these fanatics who come at me, is Tyson Fury offering to buy you a beer? No, he ain't.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Real shit, yo.
No, but realistically, and I say this because I've known people that have had those kinds of conditions, and I had to sit on those kind of people at certain jobs I had. And I'm like, look, you're in a profession where you get punched in the head, you know what I mean? And you're saying that you're chemically imbalanced. That's what you're saying, that you're depressed, you know, for one modicum or another, you're chemically imbalanced, and you can't be on medication and champing down beers. Remember what he said, you know, at the first Wilder fight, he was champing down beers the night before the fight. You know what I mean? Well, I don't think you on medication doing that. More recently, we seen he was in Iceland, he was in Spain, and I ain't knocking him. If you want to have a drink, shit, I'll have a drink. I'm just saying that you can't be on medication doing these things. And if you're not on medication where you actually clinically diagnosed in a clinical setting with these conditions you claim to have.
Look at the real life.
It's bollocks, Jules, because Jules. You know, like when you're diagnosed, some places have, like, I was in the hospital, they get 5150 watches where you got to be monitored for X amount of hours just because.
Yeah, they call them
on an initial diagnosis.
They call them one-on-ones where I'm at. That's what we used to have to do, one-on-ones, where I got to literally sit there and stare at the fucking guy and make sure he doesn't do nothing or do nothing to himself or do nothing to the nurses. And they call them one-on-ones here. And it's like, yeah, like it's like that, fam. Like when people legitimately have those conditions, you get medication. Now, I don't know that Tyson Fury ain't on medication. I don't know. I'm just saying that if he is, well, I know you ain't supposed to be drinking. I know that because that shit don't mix. When you got a condition and you medicate, that shit don't mix, fam. And he stay drinking. So I'm like, does he really, in other words, do you really have what you claim you have? Because I'm not going to believe it coming from you. You could be a pathological liar, and there is some pathology associated with that. But to my knowledge, you don't get medicated for being a pathological liar.
If you remember when Tyson first come out with all this stuff on his comeback, you had people like his dad saying that he didn't know anything about it. He didn't know, he didn't believe in mental health illness and all this kind of stuff. He was telling him to snap out of it and whatever else. Fast forward to now, over the last couple of years, John Fury's coming out with the same narratives about how he's also has dark times of depression and mental health. Now every fucker's on mental health, and I don't want to be like I come across as the bad guy putting it down or anything, but it's a very easy go-to because all you need to have is a couple of words to the doctor, say, yeah, I feel this, I can't make decisions, blah, blah. Oh, well, you're clinically depressed. Anyone can get a damn certificate for it.
Exactly.
Important, bro. Even 12-year-olds. I think I work in a school. We provide clubs. Bro, a 12-year-old is telling me I'm depressed and I missed the exam. So obviously now I think they're in year 6. They're gonna miss their exams, the SATs, just using their depression as an excuse, bro. If a 12-year-old is fucking gonna use it, imagine the others, bro.
My wife used to be a receptionist for a doctor's, and she was there for like a good couple of years. So of course she comes with loads of stories, not some funny ones. But the amount of people who get prescribed medication because they go in there with depression when really they just don't want to work.
Yeah.
Because
honestly,
check on them if they take those depression tablets, bro. I bet out of 99, bro, maybe 1 or 2 would take the tablets, bro. The rest is all bullshit.
Yeah, like how easy
out here it's easy in California. You do that, you get state disability.
Yeah, like how easy is it to especially these days where misappropriating issues is all the rage, because that's what's going on in several different arenas, not exclusive to the mental health arena. It's very easy for him to sit around saying that, but for people that have been around it or known anything about it, it's like, well, you can't be slamming down beers if you on medication. Well, are you even on medication? And if you're not on medication, who diagnosed you with these conditions that you claim to have? Because you claim to have all sorts of problems, that you're in a dark place. Well, if that's the truth and that's the case, you telling me that you getting punched upside the head while you're chemically imbalanced?
I think Joseph Parker diagnosed him. That's what it was.
That'll be that, Drew.
I think it was Joseph Parker.
Drew, I just found out who was. Drew, I just found out who's Fury's primary care physician. It's Daniel Kinahan. He recommended 5 bumps a day.
Real shit, yo.
I mean, Jules has no problem with that when he was running with Kinahan.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. Kinahan, if anything, Kinahan probably diagnosed him with that shit. Shout out to Jack, who says, "Yo, Ring IQ, do you want to go to Dubai?" Yeah, man.
Who doesn't?
Errol is drunk, man. Like, to me, that fight is dead. Honestly, there's not a lot.
Yeah. I've got no faith it's gonna happen.
There's not a lot that hasn't been said already, to be real. Like, motherfuckers keep mulling over the same shit. And it's, you know what I think it is? It's because they know, Errol could probably go up the junior middle and win a title after Jermell vacates them. But that's not the same thing that Crawford did. Crawford didn't just win titles at 3 weights. He was Ring Magazine and lineal at 2 of them bitches. Errol still don't got the Ring Mag belt. You still not lineal. You've been on this campaign for like 5 years, and you not it. Your fans think you it, but while they supposedly you it, right? Why are your numbers going down? Why are you not more popular? Since fighting like
Jules? There's a difference between a paper champion and a real champion. Those are where those behind the doors, behind the scenes belts like lineal and the magazine belt. Those are the real champions, like Crawford one time, like Fury one time, even if we don't like him.
Yeah.
The what's his name, the Usyks of the world. You know what I mean? Like, those are the few guys that give the title of lineal champion. There's not that many of them. You know what I mean? Like,
for
you can have belts, you know what I mean? But the circumstances of it, that's why they don't throw the magazine belt at it. That's why they don't throw the lineal championship at it, because the circumstances of the fight, then you have a big favor against overall.
Yeah, they
they're
act
not
like
the best of the divisions. You know what I mean?
They act like
Shakur.
They bring up, and I acknowledge this. Crawford was the favorite in most fights that he had. He was. I acknowledge that.
Against the best of his division at the time.
Pero lo que yo estoy diciendo, Errol was the favorite in all the fights that he had. Yeah. He was the favorite. He was the favorite. So no me diga de que, Crawford's never been in a 50-50 fight. Neither has Errol.
Errol's never been. Tampoco eso, es que él tampoco ha peleado con los mejores de su división. He has fight against the favorite.
Ya se sabe quién es el mejor de su división y todavía estamos aquí en esta misma mierda.
The best at his division at the time, at the time.
Exactly. Like, Cielo dijo, if he said it himself that, Sean Porter is the easy route and all these different names and all these different things, he said that himself, that in effect should kill any argument that people want to have. Pero esta gente que son tan emocional, que tan all emotional about Errol, like, fam, unfortunately for you, you've been hyping this dude up for years, and he not gonna be what you think he is. Like, nah, he not. I've been saying that. Like, nah, he not gonna be that. You never been pound for pound number one. At least Crawford can say that for a time. Some people even have him there now. Errol's never been number one, ever.
Truth is, Jules, post Floyd Mayweather, there wasn't really that much of big name stars in that division after he retired. Danny and Keith, they got their belts vacant. Those were Floyd's belts.
Exactly.
And then when you look at how their career shaped out, yeah, they weren't elite. They were just overrated.
I agree. Thurman especially. Like, Thurman didn't win the BA from Floyd. And just revisiting that narrative, for starters, Floyd won the BA from Chino. Fight was close, so he gave Chino a rematch. Thurman was a nobody at that time. Was not nobody talking about this guy. Marcos Maidana had just beat motherfucking Broner. He got the BA from Broner, and then Floyd fought him for the BA. They had a close fight, and then they had a rematch. And we all know if Floyd wouldn't have gave Chino that rematch, what would people have said? From the Chino rematch, he moved into the Pacquiao fight. So Thurman, like, you didn't beat nobody, bro. You beat Danny. That's who you beat. That's the champion. Like, that's your signature fight, is really Danny Garcia, and a good fight with Sean Porter. But Sean was not a champion at the time. He had already gotten beat by Brooke. All them guys, Danny, Keith, even Errol here today, you overrated as fuck, bro. Because
that whole division from like 2014 on, it was just top heavy.
Oh, it always has been, because it's like motherfuckers talk about Thurman like he fucking Sugar Ray Leonard is. Like, fam, his best win is Danny Garcia. And what's Danny's best win? It got to be at 40, because it ain't at 47. It got to be at 40. What did Danny do?
And Postal.
By the way,
Thurman's not a real welterweight, though. To me, like, in my opinion, to me, he's somebody who's like a junior welterweight, and
Sí,
I don't know, he probably don't want to make the extra less 7 pounds, but
eso es la verdad, porque Thurman no es grande. Keith Thurman is not big at all.
Yo lo he visto en persona, el pendejo ese, like, él no es tan grande así.
Él no es grande, ni Danny ellos lo que son dos gordofofos que no quieren, ellos no querían bajar de peso al 140, so they stayed at 147. Pero in reality, they're not big guys, man. Like, they're not. Danny's not a big guy. Keith is not a big guy.
By the way, Jules, can I ask a question about Thurman? Like, so he got the did he get an interim title for the WBA? He was upgraded? He had
the WBA. I believe he had the WBA Reggie. And I believe he had the Reggie. Marcos had the real one.
Right. The super title.
And obviously, Floyd won it from Marcos, and then he fought Manny, and then he retired. So when he retired, that's when Thurman was elevated to full WBA champion, because Floyd retired. That's all that shit was. But
Thurman only had one fight since Manny Pacquiao 3.5 years ago.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
And how is he number one and being ordered to fight Errol Spence?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. The same way Wilder.
How's Deontay Wilder number one despite losing to Tyson Fury twice?
This has got some WBC shit written all over it.
It's got PBC shit written all over it. Let me read the super chat. How is Spence pound for pound number 3 when Canelo and Usyk are better? Look, unfortunately, the popular periodicals that make pound for pound lists, and I say it all the time, it's a popularity contest. It's not an actual pound for pound list. Like, because if it was a for real pound for pound list, bro, Usyk, there's no reason for Usyk to be behind Spence. Usyk literally beat more champions than Spence. That's one. He became undisputed and Ring Magazine at his weight, at 2 weights. What did Spence do that Usyk did not do? What? Aside from flip a fucking Ferrari. What did he do?
I mean, these publications and these .coms, they're not going to explain it to you because they don't know what exactly pound for pound is. It's just used as a marketing tool.
That's how they use it, exactly. Like, they use it as a marketing tool to keep certain fighters popular, because for anyone to have Errol ahead of Usyk, bro, not only are you not active enough, because you're not, you don't fight enough, but you literally not as accomplished as many of these other fighters. Not just Bud. You're not as accomplished as Naoya Inoue. You're not. You're not, fam. That dude is a 3-division current reigning. He got the same number of alphabet titles as you, right? But he was already a 3-division champion. You still a 1-division champion. He got Ring Magazine. You don't. He's on his way to undisputed. You not. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jules. For real, you're probably like the only channel, you and maybe a bit Boxing Beats and Rhymes, maybe 1 or 2 others, that if you pull out like a pound for pound list, I'm going to listen and go, okay, cool. Even if I disagree with it, but because you guys know boxing, and for me, people come out with pound for pound list. So many people don't know anything below welterweight. And if you don't know all the weight divisions for the key fighters, nobody should be talking about pound for pound.
Agreed.
That's why I don't do pound for pound list, because I couldn't tell you who is the top 3 in bantamweight. I couldn't tell you.
Now, my homie Lo, shout out to my sister Lo in Kentucky. She say, let's also keep this in perspective, y'all. Pound for pound is just a fantasy list and shouldn't bear much weight in anyone's mind. Well, this is not. I'll say this. Look, pound for pound is somewhat important because it's a skills assessment. You're basically trying to evaluate who are the most skilled fighters in the sport. And there are different ways that you can arrive at a conclusion. Now, some people just go off an eye test. Myself, y'all know what I use. I use a point system, title defenses, titles unified, number of divisions, who you fought, things like that. That's how I do mine. And to Sporting's point, the whole point of the list, at least upon its inception and its popularity, was that fighters at the lower weights were not getting the same exposure as the heavyweights, who were the most popular and in many ways are still the most popular at the time. You know what I mean? So it's really for those fighters that are at like 118, 112. It's for them. It's for anybody but the heavyweights, with the exception of guys like Usyk, who moved up in weight. And it is important in a sense because how else do you get fighters like Kenshiro Taraji? That dude just beat the shit out of Kaiguchi. Just beat the shit out of it. Made it look easy. I thought it was going to be a war. He beat the fuck out of that guy. How is a guy like that, who's based out of Asia, going to get any exposure in America when the American pundits and the American periodicals are more focused on a popularity contest instead of really covering the sport of boxing? That they rather hype up. Like, to me, and motherfuckers, say what you want, Kenshiro has a better argument than Spence off an ass whooping like that. I ain't never seen you whoop no champion ass the way he whooped Kaiguchi's ass.
An unbeaten guy, unbeaten.
And he made it worth for us to get up that fucking early on a Tuesday.
Hey.
Real shit. Like, how else do guys like that get the exposure in countries where they're not based out of if the journalists and the people that cover the sport don't do their job to the fullest extent? You get paid to cover boxing. You get paid to cover the different stories about the different fighters in the sport of boxing. And all your some, not all, because there are good pundits out there. There are some. But most, what I see is that there's an American bias. Who's going in their glove compartment? Because I don't want to hear that shit.
Not guilty.
Not me.
I was putting it in park.
And it's like, fam, it's other fighters besides Spence. And I'm not biased. I said the same thing about Lomachenko. Like, why is Lomachenko there and Jermell Charlo is not? Jermell is a undisputed champion. Surely he should get some consideration.
Devin Haney beat the man.
And it's going to a what you're saying, Jules, is going to a macro point we always bring up. These motherfuckers follow maybe one or two divisions, and when they say, "Oh, fans want to see Canelo versus Benavidez," or blah blah blah, I'm like, bro, boxing is in a great place globally. Just because your little fighters nickel and dime nobody care about, your motherfuckers wasn't up at Tuesday at fucking 5 a.m. watching cards in Japan, bro.
Well, the funniest thing is the xenophobia. You have fighters like Inoue, for example, that sell really well in their own countries, and they actually sell better than their American counterparts here in America. Like, Inoue sells way better in Japan than David sells in America, David Benavidez, or Jermall Charlo, or even Jermell Charlo. In fact, Inoue sells better in Japan more than most American fighters. Him putting 20,000 asses in 20,000 seats is nothing. He'd been doing that. Ryota Murata is the same thing. And it's the xenophobia, and I hate to say it, but the bigotry of the American populace that makes them disregard that you do realize that boxing is bigger than just what's going on in America. And you do realize that the only, the money that there is in boxing, there's more money in the sport outside of America. But you're so focused on these Americans that barely fight. David Benavidez fought once this year. Jermall didn't fight at all. Jermell only fought once. David only fought once. I think Ryan is only going to fight once, the Fortuna fight. He don't got another fight this year unless they get him out there before in December, which I don't think they will.
Virgil Ortiz only had one.
Oh, he only had one.
Boots Anderson only fought for 4 minutes.
Bro. Yeah. When you talk about xenophobia, bro, have you ever seen like champ size pound for pound list, bro? How it looks like, bro?
Man,
I call that shit the UPN fucking pound for pound list.
I call that the insecurity list, and I don't like to get in that because that's an uncomfortable. Nah, dude,
he's keeping facts though, bro.
That's the insecurity list. Like, look, when you confident, right? When you feel good, you want other people to feel good. You see what I mean? When you feel good, you want everybody else to have that same joy that you have. Your list is basically you being insecure because you feel irrelevant and you feel that they are being treated as if they are irrelevant, so you overcompensate. It's like your list is not that's not a pound for pound list, bro. There's a set definition as to what pound for pound is supposed to be. You don't keep it because you're insecure. You don't want to acknowledge fighters from other countries. Okay, well, that just makes you a bigot. If you treat people a certain way based on where they're from or what they look like, you a bigot. Simple. That's defined. These are defined finite terms. If you well, he's from Japan, so he don't count. And he's from Eastern Europe, so he don't count. And he's from the UK, so he don't count. You a bigot, bro. It's not hard to put that together. Like, fam, you hate everybody, basically. You hate everybody that's not you, basically.
This is what I'm hearing.
And the hilariousness of it is, Jules, like I told you today, they're so in delusion. Like 2018, 2019, Showtime had 26 cards between Showtime and Showbox. This year they've had 15.
Bro, it's kind of obvious. Like, it's facts by the numbers, but and I said this before. You can't use logic on illogical people. It'll fall on deaf ears. You can't be rational to irrational people. All you can do is what I do. Bring them on here, get them laughed at, and make your money. Go ahead, Sportin'.
I forgot what I was going to say, to be honest.
Damn, yo.
I think Sportin', you were gonna say you're gonna set up that beer date with Fury.
Well, I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but you know, it's quite happy to buy me a shandy. No worries.
You can get you old duels.
Jules, I got a question for you.
To go back on to that Keith Thurman, I think I'm probably one of the only people around that actually likes Keith Thurman. I actually like him. I do. I don't rate him that high, but it's just that I don't see how Keith Thurman has warranted a title shot at Errol Spence. It just seems too convenient. And if you go back to Errol Spence Jr.'s confrontation with Errol Spence, with Terence Crawford when Bob Arum was there, when he's telling him to go speak with Al and whatever, when he says that Al Heyman has already got a plan mapped out for me, and every single name that he reeled off, he's fighting, including Keith Thurman.
And that's what see, it's things like that, not to be altruistic, but it's things like that that hurt the sport. Because if you really wanted to create excitement in the welterweight division, in the absence of the undisputed title fight, you don't order Thurman versus Spence. You order Ortiz versus Spence.
Yes.
You would have created much more excitement with a mandate like that, and you would have forced Golden Boy Promotions and PBC to work together to do a fight that people could actually get behind. But we all know that at this point, the sanctioning bodies are bought. They're bought. Their mandates
Brown
are bought.
paper bags.
That's all it is. Because it's like, fam, you saying that Thurman deserves to sit at number one for having one fight in 3 years, one fight against a dude that didn't even beat nobody at welterweight, and he's coming off a knockout loss at junior welterweight. And that's all he got to do to be number one. That's it. That is all.
Because y'all remember they did this weeks ago? They bumped them up to number one, and we all said like
over Virgil, right?
We all got the over Virgil, yeah. We all got the anticipation. Like, okay, if they moved him up, I got to with this Crawford fight, probably ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, we knew then.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Jules, real quick. Alicia tweeted out fight date sooner than we think. Can you hint at something? Do you know something, Jules? You ain't got to tell it, but do you know something?
If I had to guess, I would say towards the tail end of January. If I had to guess.
Okay, you haven't really asked yet. So what you're saying?
If I had to guess, that's all I'm going to say. Not out the ring and panel for the afternoon talks. I could find a mugshot of the most notable PBC fighters. I think that's what these shows relate. Yeah, I mean, like, ain't shit is going to relate to ain't shit. You hyping up like. Not to be repetitive, but you're literally talking about fighters that barely fight. So you can't be approaching these conversations from a consumer perspective, because as a consumer, they're not even satisfying that demand. There are other more active fighters who are also more accomplished, and you blow them off for these guys. You belittle them and minimize them for these guys. Case in point, Igis Kavaliauskas has to be a piece of crap just because Crawford fought him. But he just had a really good performance. Just had a really good performance. But
Maybe
because,
take a knee. Maybe
Jules,
take a knee.
can I ask you a question? Do you know this guy called he's a famous YouTuber, IBFP or whatever his
I've heard
clown
of
name
him.
is,
I've
bro?
heard of him. I've heard of him.
Bro, he's a big fan of Canelo, and he's in certain things like I agree with him and stuff. But he's been going at I think Bud Crawford and blaming him for everything, and not even one video about Errol Spence or him the effing, not the fucking, but the other F shit that he's doing, bro. Like him, he calls people the F words. I think the gay boys and bum boys and this and that, but he has not mentioned anything about Errol Spence. He's the greatest fighter. Bud Crawford is ducking, and all these
Well,
YouTube
look,
channels that
let
are
me say
talking
this.
bigging up Bud. The YouTube channels that are bigging up Bud, they're all wankers, or they're all, you know what I mean? It's just talking shit about everyone.
All right,
Just for Errol Spence.
all right, Suave. Oh my God, like
Bro,
I'm
pissing
not.
me off.
Damn.
It doesn't. You know why it don't piss me off? He's in his lane. He ain't say nothing about me. I ain't like. Look, I don't know what his argument is. Everything I've heard about IBFP has been good. I've mostly heard good things. If he has a difference of opinion with me or you or anybody else, I would have to listen to what he's saying to counter it. But I'm not gonna do that. I don't care. I don't. You
I've
ain't saying
seen his content,
It just
and I
shows,
have to
bro.
say, bro, this dude's a sucker, bro. Because if you're not understanding the fighter's situation, their circumstances, then you don't
Exactly.
know boxing. You don't know the business.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
This is why.
to me, it's a lot of this is common sense, bro. And a lot of people approach a lot of shit with no common sense. So I'm not gonna take time out my day to say, oh, IBFP is this and that. I haven't even heard what the man said. First, I would have to hear it, and before I hear it, I would have to care. But I don't.
The main reason why I
Jules,
mentioned it, bro,
Jules.
even like in this day and age, even like certain YouTube channels that have a little bit of credibility. To be honest, he maybe had a little bit of credibility, but they've gone so like left, man, just to get the PBC attention because it knows it
But
works.
so why they
Bro,
go
a
left?
guy
They
has
go
300K. And
they
one, give me a second. Yeah,
they
go
go
on.
left. They go left just to get views, bro. They don't even believe
Yeah,
the
that's
shit.
the other thing. Like,
Exactly.
yo, listen.
So why
put it
you
another
getting
way.
mad though?
So listen, put it another way, right? I'm gonna put it to you another way, right? Because some of what these content creators do, I don't do that because I don't have to. Like, honestly, if you look at my metrics, they're not huge, they're consistent. And that happens deliberately. That's not by accident. It's consistent. It's always within a certain range and it's consistent. The videos are always within a certain range. The number of ads are in a certain range. The number of lives. I do this on purpose. It's for a reason, right? Whereas other content creators, they rely more on what's happening at the time to drum up business. So they might get that 19,000 or that 20,000 because they're not actually telling you the truth. They're just relying on whatever the wave is. But the wave dies down. The wave dissipates. Case in point, Glovegate and Deontay Wilder. If you did a Deontay Wilder video in 2018 or 2019, you're going to get really good clicks for that. Now, nobody cares. Nobody.
And we know one of the
Coach has
reasons,
said it best.
Jules, one of the reasons you do this, we know, because you're a consumer, not media.
Yeah, I'm a consumer. Like, what I do is a product review.
Coach Malachi has said it best. This is how you sum it up, bro. He said it best. He goes, they have 300K, 100K, 150K, but when they go live, there's only 300, 200 people on their lives. But whereas when Coach goes live with his 16K, 900, 1,000 people are watching, bro.
The only person that I have seen whose metrics align, for a live feed, the only big channel in boxing on YouTube that I've seen that their actual subscriber base does seem to align with their metrics is the Boxing Voice. That's the only one. I see like an Ego when he's live, for example. It'd be like 200,000, but you got way more subscribers than I do, and it's only like 200 people watching that shit. Sometimes it's less.
It's funny. Bro, a guy has 300K subscribers, but talks a lot about PBC Deontay Wilder, but they can't even
You know
crack
what I
them.
think it is,
Bro,
Shawab?
100K
It's like
pay-per-views, bro.
right.
Metrics are
These
very simple.
channels have like followers, right? Like subscribers that are basically just sock puppet accounts. They don't really
Yeah.
put out content.
No,
Oh,
no,
They don't really.
that could
They
have been.
just they just tune in and watch.
Yeah, that could have been motherfuckers that like maybe they subscribed 2 years ago, but they don't even be watching YouTube like that. No, who it could be a lot of things, but it's kind of like the argument that I made about Wilder. They're like, look, it's YouTube channels that have more subscribers than you sold pay-per-views. And these YouTube channels are the ones that talk you up, that have 100,000 or whatever subscribers or whatever, right? They'll talk him up. But your pay-per-view didn't sell 100,000 pay-per-view. You didn't sell 100,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's all bullshit, bro. You're catering to an audience, unfortunately, that in the consumer market does not matter.
And then I'll add to that. They're catering to an audience that spends more money on their super chats than actual boxing.
I agree. Because
And
that's what I see.
Like you said, Jules, enough of this bullshit. Let's just talk about the fights that are happening and the up and coming talent that nobody knows about yet.
Yeah, like I do
all this
that
other
shit.
Bullshit is bullshit.
I do that shit periodically because if you keep waiting for the next wave or the next hot topic, you don't really want that, in other words, because then that means in those moments where the news is dry, you don't really have loyal subscribers because they're not going to be that interested. But if you can get it to where your videos steadily climb from 1,000 metric to a 2,000 metric to broaching a 3,000 metric. If you can do that to where every single video you put out is bringing you back the same numbers, you can have a steady income. Instead of focusing on, oh, well, the hot topic today is this. And the hot topic, that shit ain't going to work, man, because motherfuckers get bored. This Spence and Crawford shit is a prime example. Like, this shit boring, bro. This shit is boring.
You know, I don't think I've made not one penny on this whole Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford thing, because quite honestly, people over here, which is obviously my core audience in the UK, don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit, bro.
And Jules, didn't you say the metrics for Spence Crawford were at its best when they had that confrontation compared to now?
2018, that's when they were. If you would have checked those internet metrics then for the mentions, that shit was high, bro. It was high. At that time, it was high. Right now, motherfuckers talk more about Jake Paul than Errol Spence, bro. Literally. Yeah. You can check.
That's why you got it. Yeah. You got to strike while the iron's hot, man. And I didn't care. Like, back then, like 3 years ago, I knew who the best two welterweights were. And I didn't care if it was for all the belts. This fight could have been made between then, when the video, ES News video came out, and the fucking Ugas fight. And I didn't care if it was for all the belts, just like with Manny and Floyd.
Real shit. Like where the shit is at now, you know, you got a lot of interesting shit that's happening in these divisions. There are interesting stories like Lawrence Okolie's I believe he still has a rift with Matchroom, which is why he hasn't fought. That's an interesting story to me. I rather talk about that than consistently talk about Errol. It gets tired. It gets repetitive. And when it's not interesting anymore, well, you don't want to do it anymore. But it's stories like Lawrence Okolie situation with Matchroom. It's stories like Arsene Goulamarian is returning to action this weekend after 2 years of inactivity. The state at cruiserweight. That's interesting to me. The same fucking argument that we've been having for 4 years, that's not really interesting to me anymore. I'm just saying I told you so. I told you year after year they wouldn't fight. I told you in 2018 they won't fight. I told you in 2019 they won't fight. 2020, 2021, 2022. I've been saying it consistently. I wouldn't be surprised if they never fight. So while we're on the subject, I told you so.
Exactly. And I tell you this though. Someone inspired me to go get a gyro sandwich for lunch today.
Nice.
Yeah, I miss gyros, man. I'm about to I gotta find a spot out here to get gyros.
They don't got no gyros where you at?
It's not that. It's that everything out here is franchise, like Applebee's.
Oh, okay. There's not grease when they make the shit like back home.
Drew, what's a gyro?
I don't know. Tell me.
I'm asking.
Oh, that's lamb meat. That's lamb meat and pita bread with onions.
It's a pita bread with a lamb sandwich and some of their sauce. What kind of sauce is that, Jules?
I don't
It's a tzatziki sauce.
It's like a Greek taco.
Yeah, it's a tzatziki sauce.
Yeah, that
Okay.
shit is mad good, dog. Like you gotta try it, Jay. That shit, like it's gonna
I gotta
change.
find one. I gotta find
Go
one.
no,
No,
well, Jay. All
legit,
you gotta
bro.
do is go to a Persian restaurant. They got some in the Bay. Just get the
Okay.
like with the kebab restaurant.
The only commercial joint, the only like franchise spot that I know sells gyros, even though it's not the same as getting it from a halal truck. The only spot, franchise spot, is Great Wraps. Great Wraps does sell gyros. They're not great. They're very good though. They're very good, but they're not great. Like that
Yo, Jules.
halal gyro, that should have put you on another planet, bro.
Yo, you ever been to this? I don't know if you ever seen this gyro spot. It was like across the street from MSG on 34th. It was next to a Sparrow.
I know.
You ever seen?
I know.
Oh my god, bro! The tzatziki sauce was fucking heaven, bro. The gyro meat.
Yeah, listen. En la
Just kiss, bro.
145, in La 145, and where the Pathmark is, there was always a halal there, bro. And late night, bro, that shit'll save your life. You get out the club, you drunk as shit. You don't feel
Oh
like
yeah, they got the halal guys over on downtown, man, doing this.
exactly, bro. Okay, if it's too many fights at IHOP or somebody get, you don't want to be in the shit. Basically, like, nah, this shit might get shit.
I'm too drunk. I just want to make a line and hit my food.
Hell yeah.
See, that's why out here I love it. They either have the bacon rack hot dog cart or just taco trucks.
Oh yeah,
after
I'm
the
just
club.
hot dog carts too. Like those are the things that when you leave a major city, you don't really see them anymore. And I miss a good gyro from a halal truck in Union Square. I don't know if that supermarket is there. What was it? Food Emporium. There was a halal cart there. Fucking gyros was fucking amazing.
Oh, I got a question for the Americans. Do you guys have doner there? Kebab.
Say it again.
Doner.
Swab.
We call it doner here, doner kebab. Do you guys have doner kebab on the coast?
It's the same thing as a gyro.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You guys call it gyro?
Yeah, we call it a gyro. That's what somebody told me yesterday. It was like it's a doner kebab, but
oh yes, bro.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we have that here because we have a lot
And I
of
heard that
where
the
I'm
Greece
at.
pronounced it. It's not gyro. The Greece pronounced it hiro.
whatever the
We
fuck
have-
it is, Jay, eat that shit. Whatever it is, just
It's
eat
on the
it.
list.
Eat it.
It's on the list.
Doner
It's on the top
kebab.
of the list. I'm gonna get it.
Bro, that's
that
the thing.
shit.
When people get drunk here, yeah, the thing when people get drunk after clubs, bro, what they do straight, I want a kebab. They don't go for no
Yeah.
burger, nothing. They go, I want a kebab. Oh,
Yeah, because I got tired. Like, it's a chicken spot. Like, we used to always go to the chicken spot. I got tired of eating chicken. I got tired of eating the murder burger. Fucking halal cart was there. They started putting them shits in the hood. Like, really, before, you could only really find halal carts downtown. Over a decade ago. I'll say over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Just started popping up in the hood. It was like, yo, this shit is a lifesaver, bro. You get the little styrofoam shit with the rice and the gyro with the lettuce. And I'm like, oh my God, I miss the city. I ain't never going back, but
Y'all making me want to go get one right now, man.
That
Shit.
basmati, and not even the regular rice, that basmati rice.
you fucking word, that fancy rice. Tommy Fumbles is only gonna get exiled by the gypsies after he gets stopped by a YouTube boxing prospect. Yo, I got a question. Is Tommy Fury really a gypsy?
He's
No.
in a-
It don't
I
seem
don't
like
know.
it do it. It don't seem like it does it.
I mean, like you Fury by name, bro. You feel me? Like John is with the gypsy shit. Like he a gypsy, bro. He got the camper and all that, the little dog and all that. Fury's a gypsy too, but is Tommy a gypsy?
Nah.
No, they were raised like a John raised his kids away from all that kind of stuff. But it's only like a recent years, John's kind of gone back to it. So they weren't brought up on like traveler sites and things like that.
Because he has a spray on tan. Like I know you don't got a fucking tanning machine in the camper.
Now I know, like gypsies, they kind of have that Mediterranean look, but like with Tommy, it's like you look more Guinea than gypsy, bro.
No, like look, there's legitimately gypsies here where I live. They're legitimately here. And yeah, they be wild. The chicks is wild, man. They just be starting all type of shit. And there's different types of gypsies, but essentially what a gypsy is a traveler. And I'm like, Tommy Fury is not no fucking traveler, bro. You only place you travel is to the tanning bed, bro, and the beach. Like you're not no traveler, bro. Like you ain't out here on a remember Snatch on a Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
That ain't Tommy. So I'm like, bro, is he even a gypsy?
Do you see because like you guys in America, do you see Tommy Fury as a big name, somebody viable for
No.
Jake Paul to fight?
Nope.
No. I believe. Let me say this. Shout out to the coach, Coach Malachi. Let me read the super chat. Random and off topic, but it's wild how Caleb was a cherry for Canelo, but everybody's hyped for him versus Benavidez. DBN just said the winner of these two will be the best 168 pounder. It doesn't make sense, bro. It's not going to. Shout out to my man, the coach, in the building. You know what I mean?
Coach.
What up, coach?
And what I'm gonna say, as far as DBN's argument about, I literally said that the other day that I'm like, Caleb, y'all shitted on Caleb when he was gonna fight Canelo, but when Benavidez is gonna fight him, y'all acting like that's the best fight ever, the best fight since sliced bread, and it's ridiculous because now neither of them had a title. They could have gave you this shit 3 years ago when they was both champions, and all y'all have are excuses, excuse after excuse after, and what's even worse is y'all not the motherfuckers that's gonna buy no fight. Y'all not buying that shit. I don't believe it for a second. That motherfucking shit would be lucky if it do 150,000.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does that much. I don't think it does that much.
It might not because Wilder supposed to be more popular than them, and he only did 77,000.
He didn't even crack 100,000. Like damn, bro.
So I'm like, yo. In other words, can Benavidez versus Plant at this point sell more than Wilder?
I think
That's
so.
a point. That's a legit question too. Because who's gonna buy it, Jules? Who's buying?
Who gonna buy it? Who gonna buy it?
I'll
And
pay for it.
whoever
If they drop
brought
the undercard, bro,
whoever brought DBN up, DBN said Caleb was gonna wash Canelo. Then DBN said Caleb was a hype job and it was a cherry. And now the winners, so you can't even be listening to these dudes. It's just like they ride the wave.
DBN, Leonard Ellerby picked Caleb Plant.
He did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
The guys on the internet, the guys on Twitter, a lot of them cats, they pick Caleb to beat him so that when it's like, fam, that's why you got to keep a small circle. That's why in real life, fuck the internet, in real life, you keep a small circle. Why? It's people like that in real life. There ain't no reason to talk to you, fam. Your word don't mean shit to you. So
they went as far as inducting Caleb into the race draft. They did though. They
John B and all that, bro.
I think I saw something with
Caleb. Sex you up. He looked like that.
Oh,
dude.
now I wanna sex you.
That was that shit.
My partners clown me and say when I got my beard, when I used to have it just a thin line like Tony Sunshine and Terror Squad, they used to call me the dude from Color Me Bad.
Real shit, yo.
I gotta find an old picture so Jules can clown and make an edit.
Real shit, yo. But I mean, like, it's like when I think about a lot of the stuff that I scroll past, for example, on social media, a lot of that shit is like, fam, like I wouldn't even talk to you because I could see what the shit you saying is dumb. Like when you say that Julius Ndongo, for example, and they think it's a hot take, or they thought that it was a hot take when I said Ndongo is a better win than Kell Brook. Why? Ndongo was a unified, unbeaten champion. Kell Brook was the opposite. You wasn't unified and you had been beaten. You literally got beat in your last fight. And Ndongo was going to people countries and taking their belt. So what's better? What's better?
I remember what he did to the Travanovsky guy.
He knocked that. Yo, he hit that motherfucker with the onlyest Namibia punch. The whole of Namibia was in his fist when he flatlined that man. And y'all try to talk that down.
Shit.
Try to talk that down for hater Terrence Crawford, and the shit don't like, fam. You don't make sense. If you think that Kell is a better boxer than Ndongo, I could accept that off of the eye, but off of reality and accomplishments, nah, he was unified, bro.
Here's the mental gymnastics, though. They're on code defending Errol, but going off code twice to attack Crawford and Ndongo. Make that make sense?
It's not going to. It's not. That's what I mean. That if you really sat down and thought about all the different things that have been said the last 4 years, none of it makes sense. You clown Bud because he's not big at the box office, right? But Bud sold more pay-per-views than Keith Thurman. Yeah. What did Keith sell with Mario Barrios? Did he sell 135,000? No.
Didn't crack 50.
He didn't crack 50, fam. But
he sold more than a former unified heavyweight champion, Andy Ruiz, former heavyweight champion in Charles Martin.
know what I'm
You
saying?
know
Like,
what, Jules? I think me and you are the only panelists that fucking bought that Charlo doubleheader.
I bought it.
Probably.
I paid for it.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I did.
good.
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah,
I
I
went out on a
supported the
date. I
dude.
went out on a date.
Where was y'all at? Where was
Thank
y'all
you.
people at?
Real
It was
shit.
free
yo.
for me, so I don't have to worry about it.
I ain't mad at that.
These
I ain't
fucking
mad at
UK
that.
guys, I love
Because you know what? You know what, Sporting? Fury versus Chisora 3 is free to me, but it ain't free for you. Not
It
free
is
for
free.
Hey,
for me.
Jules,
It's gonna be
it was
for me.
free for me, but I still decided to stream it.
you. Talking
Hey,
about
hey,
Fury versus
Fury,
Fight.
Fury. So, wow, how is the reception to that over there right now? Chisora Fury 3
Oh,
tickets and
not
just
good.
buzz.
There's no talk of
I
it,
don't
none
know, to
whatsoever.
be honest, man.
John Fury gets more headlines than Tyson Fury right now.
Sport and Sawabi, y'all paying for that?
Mhm.
Y'all paying for that?
Am I what?
Are you
No.
paying for Fury
I need
Chisora?
to ask Errol Spence for the Fire Stick.
Listen, my God.
I rest my case.
Ain't nobody hype off that fight, which is why I started off the show at the top of the show. I was like, yo, is Fury resorting to rehatching all these mental health issue things because he knows that his public perception is kind of in the tank for multiple reasons, not just the collapse of the Joshua fight, but in some ways also the True Jordy video. They're like, fam, he didn't really ask you some shit that was like some shit. He didn't though. He told you things that really that's how people feel. And you just used to being in this bubble where Gareth Davies want to suck your dick and Simon Jordan want to suck your dick. And it's like, nah, they not being real with you, bro. People not hype off that fight. Somebody of your caliber, right? You've been champion through the Klitschko era, right? Through this era. You still unbeaten. You a two-time champion, right? You shouldn't be fighting somebody like this. It's not no excuses for it. You really shouldn't. It don't make sense.
Hey,
Hey,
Joe,
go ahead, sport.
who's the bigger embarrassment? The father of Tyson Fury or the father of Teofimo Lopez?
I still think it's John because John it's like it's close, bro. Like it's like split decision close, but it's gotta be John. That shit at that fight, like, fam, why are you taking your shirt off if your son supposed to be fighting this? Not you. I'll fight Mike Tyson. I'll fight him to the death. I'm the king of the bare knuckle.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
But it's like, in other words, oftentimes when we broach this subject, what we all conclude is that the father is living vicariously through the son, and there isn't a more literal iteration of that than John Fury. You acting like you want to fight fucking Jake Paul. What is your problem?
I mean, Teal Senior, he never took his shirt off. Teal Senior
More,
never took off his
more
shirt.
importantly, who can outdrink who? Fury Senior or Teofimo Senior?
Bro,
And
when
put
he
the
got
picture
that
up,
gold,
Jules.
when he got that gold Bud Light suit, man, that dude is undefeated, bro. Got that gold Bud Light suit. That dude is undefeated,
That's his
bro.
Hall of Fame jacket, bro.
Let me tell you something.
Think
John
about that, though,
Fury.
y'all. Real quick,
John
though.
Fury would need like fucking
Little
12
baby
cases. 12 cases of Bud Light just to feel a little buzz.
My God, when Lopez Senior has that gold suit, his blood alcohol levels shoot up immediately, bro. Like it's like you know Goku, right? The orange suit that he wear.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
That shit weigh like 10,000 pounds. Motherfucker got to put it on to know that. That's the gold Bud Light suit. If you put that shit on, top, you saucy already. Off top.
Seriously, has there ever been in a recent memory, Jules? Is there a trainer that we know is on the bottle during the fucking fight like Teofimo Senior?
Bro, I never seen that before, bro. Being real with you, I never
Is
seen
that for real? Is that for real?
Bro, there was reports that day at the DAZN card, he was doing autographs for a meet and greet, and he was already sauced.
But back to the point, I think that the biggest glory hog, the father that tries the hardest to steal their son's thunder, it is Big John, though, because think about it. The focus is Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. You know, that's what it was. And he literally stole the thunder from Tommy. Tommy called him in the ring. You got to let Tommy and Jake do their thing. And what do? You horn in so that all the cameras are on you. If you watch it back, that's what you realize. It like Tommy was calling him up, tell him to come in the ring. He don't come in the ring. Tommy try to go outside. What's your problem, bro? Like, what are you doing? What are you,
and I
man?
think you're right, Jules, because you imagine if they let Big John over here for both Wilder fights, what would have happened?
Oh
Bruh,
God.
it's
Oh,
like he trying to act like he has a fight. You see what I mean? The reason I don't got no respect for him, Mickey Theo wanted that smoke, but you ain't want to know. Mickey
Yep.
Theo.
Hey Jules, I was the first person to interview Mickey Theo. Right after Mickey Theo, like I called him out, I was the first person to interview Mickey Theo along with my pal Heavy D, who's unfortunately passed away now.
Oh, God bless the dead. God bless the dead.
Yeah, but I mean, did you all notice that the John Fury, he was literally looking around for security to hold him back?
Yo,
I mean,
that's what makes it like Lopez Senior is cringe, no doubt about it. Like I never even thought that somebody would be more cringe than Angel Garcia until Lopez Senior. But John Fury, he's like in rare form because it's like, fam, you are determined to make everything about you. This is about Tommy and Jake. It's not about you.
I mean, when
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this: do you think John Fury's sauce when he's doing this? Like,
no, he's not saucy. He's not saucy because,
and that's worse.
I mean, I kind of feel. I mean, when I saw Tyson, when I saw Big John doing that post fight with the shit, it's like I'm like, what? This kind of makes sense now because now I know where Tyson gets it from.
Well, yeah, but at least Tyson is a fighter. In other words, you see what I mean? That Tyson does it. He does do it, but there is a reason. Like, well, yeah, you know, he's a fighter. Even when he's clout chasing or whatever, or name dropping, you can still say that there is an underlying purpose. John, you're 60, bro. You're sick. What are you doing? Like,
John was actually out there, and he's done it many, many times, and I've commented about it. He wants credit for fucking his wife, is what because they come from his balls.
That's it. His whole angle. I made all these fighting men. You see him. They're fighting men, fighting. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, be quiet.
Well, Tommy ain't one of them. That's for sure. So I don't.
If the whole thing is like, if you play back everything that happened leading up to John Fury coming out and bugging out, right? Tommy took the bull by the horns because he knew Jake was there, and he starts calling him out and he's talking to him, and that was supposed to be about those two young men. So why is John taking off his shirt and trying to storm to get like, bro, what are you doing? What you think they're gonna put you and Jake on pay-per-view?
Well,
what are you doing?
He was saying, forget about my son, fight me.
That's what I mean. They're like, yo, you really stealing? And I don't think Tommy likes that shit, by the way. I don't think Tyson likes it either, to be honest.
Well, when are they going to do something about it if they don't like it?
Well, John tried to get in the face.
That's how good that Daniel Kinahan dope is, though.
That ain't even blow, bro. That's not even. I wouldn't even say that's blow. That's just like, yo, you cringeworthy because you had a chance to do your own thing a year ago with Mickey Theo. Like, if you really was on some, I'm the oldest man and fighting men, fighting the oldest. I go fight Mickey Theo then, bro. Get it popping. Nah, it ain't happen, right? But you out here, hold me back, son, like Scrappy Doo. Like, come on, B. Like, it's not about
both of them, both Tommy and John.
Hey, Joe.
Nah, because Tommy, I'm gonna be real. I could hear it in his voice, bro. He is distressed. That shit is affecting him. I think people probably clowning him for fucking up the bag 2 times. I think they really be clowning. I think they be abusing him on social media because it's like, fam, you was legit supposed to fight him 2 times. And both times, it was your son. Whatever you had going on, even if it was a legitimate reason, it's still you, bro. It's always you.
He's getting it, Joe. He's getting it from everywhere. He's getting it. He's getting it from the gym dudes. He's getting it from his family. And even the bitches now are saying, when you gonna fight Jake? He can't even get a joint without her saying, what's up with Jake?
Real shit. Like, if you think about, like, if go back and watch it, you can hear it in his voice that, he's just, get in here now. No. Like, he mad than a bitch. I'm like, oh, he mean that shit.
I've never seen anything like this when a professional boxer by trade is literally this hard on the this hard on the YouTuber. Like, yo, I mean, bro, like, what the hell is like this?
Bro, I thought I was watching Creed. I thought I was
like
Creed.
This just
see, I thought I was watching George the Animal Steel, and like at some point he's gonna bite the turnbuckle.
Not John, bro. Not John. Motherfucker, this kid, like, I thought he was about to cry because I could hear it. They're like, yo, he's really mad. Like, he's tired of what this has done to him. He did an interview, I think it was with Boxing Social. He's like, I'm not here to fight YouTube, but bro, you are calling out YouTubers though. But he felt it, important.
Can you imagine, Jules?
Yes, boy.
Can you imagine being a professional boxer and every YouTuber wants to fight you? What does that say about you?
Bro.
I mean, just look at the quality of his opposition, bro. Every fighter is a fucking gym membership fight.
Hey, I got a question for you, Jules. So this whole Daniel Kinahan thing, apparently it's all going to go to court, and it's going to be like the case of the century starting in March 2024. They've already called up Bob Arum, if he was to live that freaking long, right? But they called up Jojo Diaz and all these kind of things, which means Furies that they can't enter America until at least this trial's done. So you're probably talking end of 2024 minimum, right? Now, with Wilder and Andy Ruiz Jr. being mandated to become his mandatory, what do you think of this scenario that the PBC, whoever wins, let's just say Wilder beats Ruiz for argument's sake, they forget about the negotiations. They go to purse bid. They bid an extortionate amount of money, knowing that Bob Arum and Frank Warren ain't going to match that bid, and say, right, now we own the event. Fury, you're going to fight Wilder in America. Oh, what, you can't? Sorry about that. We're going to take that belt off you.
Possibly. But I did two videos yesterday where I talked about this, that Malik Scott does not seem all that crazy about the Ruiz fight. Not because he's scared per se, because I don't think either of them are scared of Andy Ruiz, but we know what it's a segue to. It's a segue to another Fury fight. And you really have to ask yourself, if you're Shelly Finkel, you done did this 3 times, You done did this 3 times. It hasn't worked out. You're going to do it a 4th? Like, really? This is what you want? And I thought about, like, I know what people on the internet are going to say. I know what the dick riders and the dick suckers, they're going to talk up whatever he does just because they like sucking a lot of dick. But from a business perspective, if you're Shelly Finkel, you really shoot for this again? Did you do this? You've lined up Wilder for a WBC title for basically about 2 years now because he stayed at number 1. And the last fight was last year. It's been a year since the last fight. And I feel like maybe what you thought was that things would be a certain way by now to where he could just move into a vacant WBC title. That's probably what they thought. But Fury's not retired. He hasn't vacated. So you really want a 4th Fury fight? Really?
That's what I mean.
You're right, though. They either thought it was going to be vacant, Jules, or undisputed was going to be settled. And that's the only condition they would have took it.
Just a business perspective. Forget this comic book boxing shit that the guys, because they'll tell you, oh, Wilder's a warrior, and man, get off his dick, bro. The business guys, the suits make the fight, you bitch ass. The suits make the fight. And while the suit is Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman, these people, they want a 4th fight? They do?
Hey, fellas, let me ask y'all this. Do Warriors twerk?
I mean, shit, man. I don't even know, but
this is as great as a rivalry as Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Let me read the super chat. John Santana says PBC fans don't spend money on boxing. They spend money on Louis Vuitton man bags that buy Jordans, but wouldn't recognize Michael if they saw him. Facts. Lowe says, speaking of rematches, Jules, should we see Bell versus? I don't believe we're gonna look. My gut, my Capricorn and powers tell me they will fight again, but it won't be no time soon.
At 135, you think?
135, 147, maybe.
Yeah, 135.
It won't be no time because like Alicia bought the knock Choi head off, right? Beyond that, yeah, she could do a Mayer rematch after that. But who's to say she don't go to 35? Who's to say she doesn't fight Katie? You know what I mean? She got options. It's not all about a Mayer fight for her. Mayer, another thing I'm thinking is, I heard a thing. Michaela about to fight Delphine Persoon. That's what I've been told. But also the WBO may go vacant at 147. Now, Jay, I got some questions for you. Sure. Which promotional outfit has a way with the WBO?
Top rank.
What's Michaela Mayer?
Top rank fighter.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of Delphine Persoon, I saw her fight with Ikram Kawada over the weekend. What the hell?
I don't know why she did that shit, bro.
I mean, more so about Ikram Kawada. It's like would she try to win an Oscar and get a DQ? Because
I'm gonna say this: the aggression, and I'm gonna leave it there because I'm not at liberty to say what I know. The aggression that Delphine showed in that fight. Now I understand. Like, oh, I can't say more, but.
I mean, because like I disagree with what I completely disagree with what Duffy did, but like how how she reacted, it's like she gets up, then just slumps to the canvas. She hammed it up. She really did. She was trying to
get up, but it was still stupid though. And
it was dumb. Like what the? She's on the ground. What you hit her for?
You a veteran of 51 fights. You have 51 professional bouts. You should know better. But what I was told, which is, I wish I could. I'll probably tell Sporting. And you just don't say nothing. It's privileged shit. But you gonna look at shit real different. You gonna respect Katie. I'll tell you that shit. If I ain't gonna say it, but it's some. It was some shit. It was some shit.
Well, am I getting the impression this is very close to a Conor Ben situation?
Oh. Okay.
I'm getting that impression.
What'd you say?
Sport just say I can't confirm or deny any knowledge.
I'm gonna leave it right there. I'll probably hit him up in a DM and tell him like, yo, I heard somebody told me some shit. But I ain't gonna say more than that. But you know, that's something that I heard, and it's a few other things I know actually, but I won't be divulging. On a lighter note, I'm gonna have Miss Great Britain, one of my personal favorites, on tomorrow. Hopefully everything works out.
Can we get that Harper rematch? Hey, you got to ask her about that.
That's not gonna happen, bro.
No. Why not? Like,
I mean, it ain't even a secret. Like, go on Twitter, man. You can see it's not gonna happen.
Oh fuck!
It's not gonna happen, bro. I'll do a video on it, but like,
all right, please explain why. I mean, is money or network issues?
It's not. It's not even none of that. Like, the door is open. The door is open, but I'm just telling you, if I had to guess, it doesn't happen. It doesn't.
So wait, your interview with Jonas?
Yeah, tomorrow at 12. Undefeated says the same fans trashing Canelo Triple G3 will praise Wilder. It's facts, bro. Facts. And the funny shit is they'll praise it, they just won't buy it. they'll praise the shit out that shit.
This is the same thing. This is the same thing that I've been saying for a long time. People talk about Undisputed. It's got to be for Undisputed. People outside, like you and I, and like most hardcore box fans, but most people who shout up and down on social media about Undisputed only care about Undisputed when it involves their favorite fighter. If it don't involve their favorite fighter, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, like Bud been undisputed, but motherfuckers don't, like, he did that though. So what? It was weak division. Usyk was undisputed, a weak division. He unified now. So what? You know what I mean? Like, it don't, like, it literally makes no sense that, like, why y'all disrespecting this man? Like, I don't understand that. Like, y'all really violating. This dude literally been undisputed, and he did it in a way that I don't think Bruh, he did all that on the road. All of that. No advantages. All of it was on the road. He was a weak division. All right, he beat AJ on the road. So AJ division
2 times.
Like, man, I can't talk to nobody. I ain't gonna learn nothing talking to your dumb ass. So I'm just gonna. Usyk deserves a lot of respect. That dude, yeah, he do. You know, all jokes. That dude deserve it, because what you think these motherfuckers would win all their belts on? No. This dude went to Russia for the belts. To Russia. It's crazy out here, bro.
They're not even going outside of Texas, Jules.
Exactly. Motherfuckers go from DeSoto to Grand Prairie. That's as far as they go.
I mean, like, Jules, these people are man children. Because I remember after Bud stopped showing, right, in their fight, somebody put on YouTube, right, I think that stoppage was premature. So I just decided to entertain him, right, and I asked him, so what was unfair about the stoppage? You know what he does? He resorts to something trivial like name calling, saying like all this bullshit. And I'm like, are you gonna answer the question or not?
Look, bro, all I gotta do, this is how simple it is, right? All I gotta do is a simple Google search or a simple search on YouTube to Google the videos of people, all these different content creators that was saying Bud was ducking Porter, that Porter was gonna beat him, that Bud is too small. Like all I gotta do is I know exactly what to put in to find him, and I could pull up every single one of those comments where Porter gonna wash him, he too much for Bud, right? I could do all of that, but why? The shit you say don't matter, bro. That's why I don't do, because it's like, yeah, you said that, but you ain't shit. Your word don't mean nothing to you, so why would it mean something to me? I don't gotta show motherfuckers you full of shit. They know already. I don't gotta pull up a video of a guy that says, yeah, Spence has surpassed Canelo. I don't have to. Motherfuckers know about you already, bro. Like they know where to find you. I don't have to find you. They know where to find you. They know who you are. They know your channel. They know what your audience is. And motherfuckers know by now. Motherfuckers is getting hip. Yo, you don't count. And what you say don't count. Until you putting out cash money, you don't count. And what I see is not one of them guys you like is fucking with that Canelo kid. Not one of them. Not one of them. So what does that tell me? Your audience is not as big as you think it is. It can't be. If it were, Wilder would have sold more than 77,000 pay-per-views. If Keith Thurman were this great fucking welterweight, he would have cracked 100,000 at least. At least. But he don't, right? Nah. So what are we arguing about for then? You don't count.
This is why I can't really hate on the Usyk-Herkovich fight. Now, of course, I would prefer Undisputed. Of course I would. But Usyk versus Herkovich is an interesting fight anyway.
But the Usyk people blew that off, Sporting. They blew that off. Krasiuk was like, it will not get in the way. It will not.
He won't have a choice. Like Tyson Fury didn't have a choice when he got the IBF stripped off him.
He might get stripped, but the latest quote that I saw from Alexander Krasiuk, who normally doesn't get haircuts, it will not get in the way. It will not get in the way. That's what he said. So I'm like, hey, maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah, and I can understand why they hold on. I can understand why the WBC moved up Keith first. They want Errol, if they want that fight with Crawford, they want him to get to that undisputed fight unscathed. Now, it would have been interesting if the IBF would have gotten away and ordered Spence to fight Boots, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, but that's why the world's like what we're saying, right? What we normally say on here is so obvious. The welterweight division is a fucking dud, bro. It's a dud, bro. What is happening there, bro? What? And everybody
stagnation. All we want to see is Crawford and Spence. I don't care about the belts.
When we bring
up to drop it and go straight to that fight, go ahead, bro.
When we bring up these talking points, it's only to counteract what because if you realized how small it is, if you could hover above Earth like I can, like Superman, and you could look down like, bro, it ain't worth arguing with y'all 10 bozos. Yeah, you think the welterweight division is popping. You don't count. You know what I mean? Like, you think Keith Thurman is... Who like Keith Thurman? You high on Keith Thurman? That's an elite win? A dude that fought once in the last 3 years against a dude that got knocked out in his last fight, but you couldn't knock him out.
Or drop him. That's no hairline, bro.
That's elite. Or drop him. That's elite, right? Like this.
Bro, an entire stable, a belt organization, and YouTubers are resuscitating his career.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a boxing fan, I'm not trying to tell you that David Avanesian, which Sporting brought up, I'm not telling you that he has the accolades that Thurman has. No, he doesn't. I don't know that he's ever competed at the same level that Thurman used to compete. But here today, as strange as this might sound, yes, here today, Avanesian, yeah, that's a little better. What, Thurman, you went 12 rounds with a dude that just got knocked out. And that's your only fight in the last 3 years. That's your only fight this year.
I'll take it a step further. I'll take it a step further. If Avanesian versus Thurman was announced, I'm picking David.
Tell me when the last time Keith Thurman knocked somebody out, because Avanesian is knocking motherfuckers out.
Yes, he is.
That was once upon a time ago.
Yo, how many years though, bro? Like, it's like 7 years, right?
7 or 8, one of them.
Not like since 2015 or something like that.
Yep.
Bro, that's 7 years. No, let me see. He's 15, 16,
no, mira,
18, 19, 20, 20.
No, mira. Since his last HBO shit.
Wow.
Would y'all be picking David to beat Keith if that fight was announced? I would.
Oh, of course,
Bro, he got hurt.
They're not taking him seriously.
He
Bro,
They don't know who the
knocked out.
fuck
he
he is.
got hurt by Barrios, bro.
To the body. To the body.
Body. Motherfuckers say that, yo, I would pick Stanionis to knock out Keith Thurman. I would pick Evanesian, and I'll pick Mean Machine to knock him out. Motherfucker hear that,
No,
but they don't hear that. It's like, yo, Keith Thurman is not nobody no more, fam. He's just a mouthpiece.
He's damaged goods, man. He's a knockout waiting to happen by somebody.
Really?
The thing about Keith Thurman, he's still hanging on the Danny Garcia and Sean Porter wins, two guys that's more for the division. First and foremost, Avenesian. Well, Mean Machine is even more as a welterweight since he knocked out Avenesian. If nobody remembers, and then Avenesian maybe 2-3 years later knocked out John Kelly. And he's half improved, but he's not on competition, but he's a little better than
Vamos a decir esto, José, vamos a decir esto es la cosa, ok, tú peleaste con un tipo del 140 that got knocked out. So I don't look at Keith's last opponent as being better than Avenesian's last opponent. I don't, or his last couple of opponents. They're about the same. The difference is he's knocking these guys out. You went 12.
Even though Avenation is like domestic level,
really
hasn't been proven at world level, right? I still pick him over Thurman because of why? Activity.
Yeah. Thurman has
Bro, it was a dragging victory against Barrios, man. It was a dragging.
Yeah.
Just like his hairline, dragging.
He got the Count Chocula, the McDonald's arch, bro. Like, bro, I've been saying, Keith, rock a body, bro. Just save yourself, bro. You look like Fraser Crane from Cheers. Remember Cheers?
Oh,
y'all remember Cheers? The psychiatrist?
He looked like a super from the Bronx, bro.
Nah, he looks like it.
You need to stay away from Parks.
Yo,
You need to
he
stay
really
away from
do look.
Parks.
Well, some real shit. He really do look like Pennyworth.
Like Pennywise. Right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Like he do look like Pennyworth.
Stay away from public parks. Stay away from them.
Shave that shit, bro. Rock your goatee, grow your shit out, and look fly, but just you gotta stop, bro. Like that has to stop. But he from Florida though, so it's like,
He's 33. He's 33 with a 53-year-old haircut.
Yo, he's stressed, bro. He's stressed. Shout out to Low. Low says Pac-Man cracked his orb. Oh, he did?
Really?
Did he crack his orbital bone? It wouldn't surprise me.
I need to look that up.
It surprised me.
That's news to me.
Wow.
Surprised me.
All I know is when he gets into the body, he does the moonwalk.
Yeah, like by now the word is out. And that's why I would not pick Keith. And I'm not playing when I say this. I would not pick Keith to beat nobody solid at welterweight. I think Butaev would beat him. I think Stanionis would beat him. I definitely think Ennis would beat him. I definitely think Virgil would beat him.
Avenesian would get him too, I think.
I think Conor Ben could even give him a run for his money if they let him use the sauce. I think
Yo, Jules, I'm gonna go, my man.
I mean, at this point, Keith is on the sauce, man.
Later, Sporty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Keith fuck around be on the sauce. That's why I shout out to my man Sporting. Keith fuck around was on the sauce. All I'm saying is, yo, man, look, that dude, the only guy more overrated than Keith Thurman is Danny Garcia. That's the only, because it's like, yo, you didn't beat no one. You've been at this weight for almost a decade. You didn't beat nobody there, bro. You beat dudes from the lower weights at welterweight, like Red Catch.
Going the distance, not knocking them out, all that stuff.
Embryos and but you other than that, when they put you in there with somebody that was like supposed to be good, you always lost. So
yep.
And what they'll do with Bud, this is the famous shit they do with Bud. They'll cut off his whole 140-pound resume like it didn't happen, right? And 35, that don't count neither. But when we talk about Danny, what you start talking about? Shit from 140. We knocked out Khan. Well, at 140, bro. What did he do at 47? If you want to limit Bud resume to 47, let's do that to Danny. Danny, what did you do?
A 51-year-old Matisse.
Bro. Shit is crazy. And I'm like, yo, the Matisse win is solid. The Khan one, I think, like, y'all making too much out of that.
That was because he was coming off knocking out
Eric Morales.
he was coming out knocking off.
He fought old Morales, old Zab Judah.
At 140, right? That was all
at
140,
140.
right? Yeah.
Avoided Bud, avoided Postol.
That's when he still was with Oscar de la Hoya, though. When he split his forehead with Sabu.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, Milena. I see what you tweeted, yo. Fucking Milena. But real shit, yo, like Danny is one of the most overrated fighters. And even before he actually had those fights, if like I got memes up from 2016 and 2015 on Instagram because everybody knew then, yo, this dude is food. He not gonna beat nobody. Who he gonna beat? He ain't gonna beat Thurman. Remember, people were actually high on Thurman at the time. He ain't gonna beat Thurman. He ain't gonna beat Porter. So how all of a sudden he go from food, because that was the consensus at the time. Everybody knew Danny's not gonna beat nobody at 47, bro. He's not gonna beat.
Remember, he also got the gift against the Herrera guy.
The guy who went life and death, but people want to be denial and say, "Oh no, he actually did well."
I'm like, you trashing Bud because he didn't fight who? Danny fucking Garcia. Because who are these? It's not like it's an assembly line of guys that Bud didn't fight. He actually did end up fighting Sean Porter, right? He ended up stopping Sean Porter. He actually did end up fighting Brook. Brook was washed. I admit that. He did end up fighting him. But we're really just talking about three guys: Porter, Thurman, Danny. Oh, and Errol, my fault. He fought Porter, so that takes him out. So we're really just talking about Thurman, Danny, and Errol. Now, who'd pick Keith Thurman to beat Bud? Who? Come on, like who? Really? You think Keith Thurman would beat Bud?
Crickets.
Come on now. Like what we talking about? Because he didn't fight Danny. He don't have a resume, really? Because Errol's resume is not that deep, my guy.
I only give him credit for 2 wins. That's Brook and Porter. That's it. And they're common opponents of Bud.
That's exactly to me. Those is really Errol's best wins, Brook and Porter, and he stopped Porter. You didn't. You stopped him. Now I will admit that Brook was washed. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Brook was washed, but there is a difference. Was he really washed? When he fought you, he was coming off a loss. When he fought Bud, he was coming off consecutive wins.
Mm-hmm. He was coming off the DeLuca win too, and he looked real good in that fight.
He looked sharp with DeLuca. And then after that, he was at welterweight, and didn't he wash Shamir Khan?
Joe did.
Honestly, looking back, I think that fight should have happened in 154. It's in Brook and Bud.
I would have liked it better at that weight.
Oh yeah, that'd been cool. That'd been cool.
Listen,
I like that.
If Errol Spence was at 140, would he have fought with Victor Posto in his prime like Bud did?
No.
Nah, yeah.
No.
Oh, thank you.
Because even after Postal lost him, he gave fits to a lot of guys. I
mean, my point is simple: that Errol's resume is not so deep that you should start trashing Bud because, well, they have common opponents. You fought Brook, he fought Brook. You fought Porter, he fought Porter. So what's missing? Danny Garcia? Because Errol fought Danny, and like Errol's resume is not that like what? Because he didn't fight Mikey. What the fuck did Mikey do at welterweight?
Thank you. Because like when you bring up the fact that like Earl fought Brook, and you bring up the fact add the fact that Triple G pretty much destroyed him in his last fight, that he's coming off a loss. Oh, that don't matter now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm like when they say that Errol's resume is deep, I'll be thinking like, who's on there that make it deep? Like for real, what Mikey that didn't beat shit at 147? That's deep. Fuck is you talking about, fam?
Like when Bud said that he the PBC pretty much used Mikey as like something to boost Spence. I believe him. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was the plan, bro. That was the plan. Mikey had an excuse for losing if he loses, and Errol would have a good debut on pay-per-view. I think the play was like a leverage play. They wanted Errol to have a good debut on pay-per-view, which he did. It was a good, like the numbers is what I mean. 360,000 for a pay-per-view debut. No, that's a good number. It's not.
Mikey helped him sell that though.
That's the point I'm making. That after that pay-per-view, did you maintain that same number? No.
Nope.
You never did 360 again. So that tells you who helped sell that fight. They're like, fam, you beat him, all that shit. A lot of people was dick riding, but your numbers went down after that. You couldn't even keep them at 360. They way down from 360. You went from 360 to what, like 325 or 350 with Danny, 225. 225 with Ugas. So it's like, fam, like y'all did all that for nothing. And I don't think his stock is up now. I'm really wondering if you put Thurman in there with Spence
Ugh.
on pay-per-view, what is it gonna do?
No more than
They'll
150.
do decent numbers, but it's not going to be near the ones
They wanted to crack 2, I think.
with Mikey.
I don't even think
But
they crack 2.
that's the question that I have, Jay. Does it do 2?
I don't think so. I really don't.
I think it does, but it's not going to be that much higher than that.
Who's really excited about Keith Thurman, bro? Remember,
that's a really good question.
Remember, you talking about. All right, the Spence fans obviously have to show up, but they're only good for about 200,000 pay-per-view buys, and those numbers are dwindling. You know what I mean? When Wilder gets out there in his big comeback fight after a year away from the sport, and all he can do is 77,000, what can Spence actually do better? Can he? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. What did Keith do with Barrios? Not even 50. So it's like, okay, so he's in there with Spence. What does that do really? I mean, like,
yo, to me, 170, yo, that's what I think.
That's that sounds more feasible. Probably 150 to 170. It doesn't crack 200 though.
It don't crack 200, bro. Like, I don't see how in this environment these motherfuckers ain't gonna buy it, and we ain't gonna. Well, maybe I will. I don't even know.
If they doll I'm saying if they doll up the undercard real nice, you put Boots on it. Okay, maybe that's just a maybe.
Only if like I said, if Boots Stadiotis is the co-main event, I'll buy it.
Yes.
If that's
better than the main event of that fight. That's better than the main.
Exactly. Like if it's a solid, if you give me that as a co-main, all right, because I do want to see Keith get knocked out. I don't know that I could really trust Errol to do it, but we'll see. You know, I just want to see him get laid out.
Yeah, I think Errol could do it. I think he will because he's a so-called body snatcher.
He's a body.
Keith don't like it to the body, as we all know. So.
Yeah, I mean, so, but it's just that it's gaslighting. It's pure gaslighting, is what it is. They're like, fam, that's really not even a big fight, though. Like that shit is on the scale of the Ugas fight. Ugas beating Pacquiao, right? Did Ugas become a star after that?
No.
He ain't sell shit with Ugas.
This fight is well past the sell-by date. It should have happened like years ago.
I've been saying, Keith, Errol moved backwards. You went from fighting Brooke to fighting a dude that lost to Brooke, to fighting a dude that lost to Sean, to fighting another dude that lost to Sean. Now you fighting
you fighting everybody sloppy seconds. That's what you're doing.
He going backwards. Like I'm not, that's not even cap. Like, look, Thurman lost to Manny, right? Thurman lost. Ugas beat Manny. That's the last dude you fought. So you fought Ugas, who beat Manny. Now you about to go to Thurman, who got beat by Manny. You going backwards.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This shit is, you can't make this shit up, bro. Like you really
can't.
You really like no, but you can, like that's legitimately from the time you fought Cal Brook, you've been moving backwards.
And I gotta feel. Let's just say like if Crawford versus Thurman got announced. All the people they shit all over the fight.
Like that what makes that unique, if Crawford fought Thurman, is that there's a desire to see Terrence Crawford get exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still gonna attract interest. Terrence Crawford versus another PBC fighter. Now I'm not telling you it's gonna do 200 Dow, but it'll probably do 150. I think it would do 150. If he did fucking 130 with Sean or 135, maybe he could do 150. But the novelty is that, okay, now we have Crawford, yet another one of these so-called PBC elites. So-called. We know they not elite underneath it all, but that's what motherfuckers say.
But yeah, I can see that too. A little over 150. Yeah.
That's what motherfuckers say. Like, what elite shit has Thurman done in the last 3 years? I don't know, but y'all stay hyping that motherfucker up.
He's run his mouth. He's done that. So
he's done a lot of interviews.
But Jules, who's your top 5 pound for pound currently?
Well, right now, motherfuckers can say what they want. Canelo at number 1, bro.
No, I feel you. I mean, yeah, just
who more accomplished than him? That's my question. If anybody don't like that, I have him at number 1. Who's more accomplished than Canelo? Who beat more champions than Canelo?
You're nobody right now. So
I had to give it to him by default, even though I know how it looks. At number 2 is Usyk. At number 3 is Crawford. At number 4 is Inoue. But once Inoue beats Butler, he's going to move past Crawford. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Once, because he already beat the same number of champions as Terrence. All he needs is to beat this last one and become undisputed. And on paper, yeah, you surpassed Terrence. You beat more champions than him, and you undisputed. So he'll move past Terrence to number 3. Right now, he's at number 4. I think I got Kazuto at number 5. Let me look at who I got on that shit.
You got to beat Franco? I think you will.
Oh, yeah.
You put that up?
I got Kazuto beating Franco. I got Kazuto beating Franco. Yeah, I'm going to put it up, matter of fact. Let me find the shit. Real shit, though. Like, it's like, I had to give it to Canelo by default because it's like, fam, ain't nobody fucking with his resume. Loss and all, nobody's still fucking with his resume, though.
Nah, man. Nah.
He still wants to fight Vivo.
He should.
Nah, man. Just leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Just
bro.
Good, but he's stubborn motherfucker. What they say, pride comes just before the fall.
Bebo might knock him out next time. He better be careful.
Fuck around. Fuck around.
I would if I was Bebo. Type of okay, you prevented me from getting undisputed. I'm knocking you out this time.
Well, really, Bob is the one that's preventing undisputed, man.
You think it happens next year, Jules? Fellas?
Honestly, no, I don't.
No, fuck, damn it.
Too good to be true.
I mean, because Beterbiev still has yard to deal with, but I think he'll handle business next month.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that's how I got Canelo at number 1, Usyk at number 2, Bud at number 3, but that's about to change.
Mm-hmm.
Ioka at number 4. I mean, at number fucking Inouye at number 4. Ioka at number 5. Mel at number 6. Spence at number 7. Beterbiev at number 8. Taylor at number 9, and Devin at number 10.
Good list.
Yeah, but I leave room for people to have their anecdotes and annotations. Like, I'm like, look, your list is not like mine. So whatever you judging these guys by, it's not, your shit is not going to look like mine. But based on mine, like, yeah, Devin deserves to be there, but at the bottom, at the very bottom.
Now, I have a question for you, Jules. When you brought up Canelo. Remember how he had to go over to PBC because they had something he wanted?
Mm-hmm.
That shit's not the case no more if he gets ordered to fight one of those guys, correct?
Pretty much.
So that there is no, you got to come over here for him. Do you expect him to A-side the fuck out of them for that?
What are you talking about, like Virgil Ortiz?
No, I'm talking about Canelo. Like, okay, Plant Benavidez win. They don't have a belt for him to tell Eddie and Eddie Reynoso to just make the deal. I'll go over there. They have no leverage to get him over to the PBC side.
I see what you. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that I'm like, look, if Canelo is the undisputed champion, you don't have any belts to use as leverage against him. If you want him, then go to the zone. But that was always the situation, though. That like, why does Canelo have to come to y'all if he bring the money? Why he got to go to y'all?
Like
there's
they don't
people
have the
still
belt
running
no
around
more.
with that narrative. Like, yo,
they don't. Yeah, like you don't have the belt no more. So I could see him A-siding. Oh, Benavidez, okay. Yeah, you want to? Oh, you want to do that?
Like, let's say the WBC orders the fight or whatever. Just in a hypothetical setting, hypothetical scenario, the WBC orders the fight, and for whatever reason, Canelo wants it to be on Matchroom. Bring your ass, yo. It's simple. You don't have nothing I want, bro.
And you know what? I can't wait to happen, Jules. You know how they weren't and up in arms for Dillian White's purse split with the WBC?
Yeah, like
they're gonna WBC is gonna be like, no, David, you don't get 50-50. We're gonna give you 25%.
If that, because it doesn't add up that like, yo, fam, you are mandatory. You're not even a champion. You are mandatory. Charlo, you don't even have nothing. Me fighting you is a charity case. You don't have nothing that I want. It's just charity. So how the fuck is it that I gotta go to y'all? If I'm the money, how I gotta go to y'all? If I'm Canelo, yo, I sit right, and I've been saying I don't actually want him to fight Bivol. I think he should sit right there and bring them motherfuckers to the zone. And if you don't want to go to the zone, then you don't want to fight.
It's that simple.
Exactly. I think that's the long play, Jules. I could see him coming back in May. Okay, let me get my WBO mandatory out of the way.
Because it doesn't add up that, with Caleb, it was a leverage play. You knew that. And it wasn't a bad play, but even with that play, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, Caleb, what you saying? That you willing to let this fight die so that you don't got to cross the street? Well, now it's different. None of y'all are champions. None of y'all. So what might happen, just in that kind of a scenario, what could happen is a purse bid. Who's going to bid more for the fight? Will PBC bid more for the fight, or would DAZN bid more for the fight? in a mandatory purse bid situation. That's what that would be. But I
I think
don't
Marv
know.
Nation. I think Marv Nation would beat him.
Hey, he beat him before. Beat him before. He beat
I,
TGB.
I like that long play that's coming because he do got one more DAZN fight.
Well, he does, but
And
he's focused on Bivol. I don't think he should fight Bivol again.
I don't either, but I won't knock it if he does. As a competitor, if I'm advising him business wise, no, but as a competitor, I could see why.
Look, let me answer this question, Edward Cruz. If he doesn't fight Bivol in May 5th, this is what I do, right? I get David Benavidez. Why? Quick turnaround. I'm gonna catch him on a humble and I'm gonna beat him. Like, oh, you just fought? Great, come fight me now. What, you don't want to fight me now? You've been talking shit about me for months. Why you don't want to fight me now? That's how I would do it.
And if he turns down the fight, we know whose fault it is.
Exactly. Like, that's how I would do it. Like, fam, you've been talking shit about me for like 2 years, bro. Like, what's good? You trying to fight or not? Make Cinco de Mayo weekend. Come to the zone. And if you don't want to come, then you don't want to fight because I'm not your bitch, bro. I don't bow to you. You don't make the money. Who else you gonna make this money with? Who? Caleb? Come on, B. Let's get this money. That's me. If it's me, that's what I would do. Unfortunately, Canelo, he want to fight Bivol. I really don't think he should, but that's what he wants.
I would rather see him fight like Callum Smith at 175.
Nah, I mean, we done seen that. I want to see him fight Jamal. If it's up to me, he fight them guys. He fight all these hyped up dudes that stay getting all this hype. He fight them. Because Jamal...
But that's the thing, Jules. Benavidez and Charlo, they hiding under fucking Al Haymon's skirt. They don't want to venture out in the market and find out who they are.
I get that, right? But the situation is different because y'all are free. Like you fought on Fox, Jamal. You literally fought on Fox more than once. So don't hit me with this, it got to be on show. No. You fought on other platforms before. Even if they were PBC affiliated networks, you still fought on other platforms. If I'm telling you that Canelo, want to give you a fight and you don't want to cross the street, bitch, you don't want to fight. Ain't that what y'all told Terrence Crawford? Cross the street. I'm telling your bitch ass, cross the street, bro. Fuck you look like trying to dictate terms to me.
But Jules, you actually see David crossing the street for a Canelo fight?
I don't see either of them doing it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
No,
and this is one of the instances where they don't have no. How many times did Canelo have to negotiate with Caleb, Jules, before he said, "Fuck it, I'll go over there"?
Yep.
Three.
They don't have none of that leverage to dick around anymore.
That would be a critical blow for them if Canelo decides, yo, I'm trying to fight y'all, but y'all got to come over here. I ain't trying to deal with y'all people. Y'all don't dictate terms to me.
There's just no more debate. Like, we know who sells more. We know what channel he fights on. You know his dates. May 5th, September 17th. Don't act stupid.
Everything is established already, right? They're like, fam, y'all don't sell more than me. I'm undisputed. Y'all not. Y'all don't have no belts, all right? This is me just giving you a shot.
Y'all ain't making the money I'm making either. So
exactly. So if I'm giving you the shot and all you got to do is come over here to get it, that's all you got to do. If you say no, what little fans you have left, that number gets cut in half. Because you already ain't got a lot of fans. A lot of people don't fuck with y'all. If you say no, and the difference between the fight happening and the fight not happening was you coming to the zone, you gonna lose, bro. You gonna like what you gonna do after? Like, bitch ass motherfucker could have fought Canelo, but he ain't want to cross the street. Why not?
I mean, it's like David Baker Hollow talking like he wants to win with Bivol versus Zerto. I'm like, all right, so what? You gonna move up and wait? What you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? You just lined yourself up at 168, so now you gonna go to the zone to fight them?
You want to fight for the time. In other words, it never should have got to the point with Caleb where Canelo has to come see you 3 times, but it did. And at least he was a champion, you know, at least you could say, all right, well, he's a champion and this is a leverage play. Y'all motherfuckers ain't champions. Y'all don't have nothing. You don't have fans.
Nothing awesome. Nothing at all.
You know what I mean? Y'all keep saying y'all want to fight me. Here I am. Come to the zone. What's the problem? But I don't know what he gonna do. Like I said, he want to fight Bivol. I don't think he should, but that's what he want to do.
He was a problem, man. I don't see it like Drew was saying. I admire the competitive spirit and drive of Canelo, but it's like at the same time, bro, you gotta just you gotta take a deep breath and admit when you beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know, but it's a win-win for him. He loses again, like, hey, I tried again to beat him. He got my number.
Yeah.
Still goes down to 68. Still has all the leverage, and I think it's honestly the long play, Jules. I know him and Reynoso and Hearn got in the corner. Like, look, let's just wait him out a little, and then when you got all the belts and it's time to fight either one of them on that side, we make them come over here. Because the WB, none of the sanctioning bodies, Jules, are going to order Canelo to do anything. Correct.
They going at it again on Twitter. Alicia and Michaela.
They should just get a room already.
For real. Like
motherfucking Michaela said, that's why you the most disputed, undisputed champion. As for me, I'll continue to give these fans the fights they want to see. And then Alicia says the undisputed, most diluted former champion. Can
I be honest? I think a second fight will be better than the first because there was no dog walking in the first. It was a close, good fight.
It was a close technical fight.
You know what you got to listen. You know what you got to understand. Nah. Stop the narratives because I see the narrative you propagating. Stop the narrative, bro. When you have all the advantages, you're supposed to win. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking when Hagler Hearns was talking all that shit, someone was gonna get fucked up. The amount of shit they were talking, it was a good technical fight.
But the second fight will be better. Both of them. It's not on one of them. It's on both of them.
And there was moments.
Michaela said, "I'm gonna knock her out." Did she do that?
No.
Didn't Alicia say she was gonna knock her out?
But that's what I'm saying. It's two ways.
So, but what I'm saying is neither one of them.
All I know is that it was a winner. It was a loser.
There was a win. What I'm saying is
I was right, and that is
you were right. All I'm saying is neither one of them sold out the way they was talking shit. That's all I'm saying.
But Drew, you're right. Even though there was no dog, but I still enjoyed the fight. It
was a good fight. It was entertaining. It was highly competitive. And my point is that when they do meet later, because it's a good rivalry, the second fight will be even better.
Oh, this is a good question. Jules, what's boxing's solution to losing to piracy? Is there a tech solution? There is. The problem, there actually is. It's not, bro. It's not that hard. You know, we exist in a world technologically where you can completely erase someone from the digital universe. So does the technology exist to catch up to the piracy? Yes, it actually does.
You know what I think?
You know who they have to ask? They have to ask Dana White because he's the best at fending off piracy and tracking it to put those.
Let me answer.
No, it's maybe still be getting stealing.
Let me answer the question. Technology exists. The problem is that boxing doesn't have the infrastructure as a sport. It's not that the technology isn't out there. Yeah, there is. All you got to do is look for signals that are being bounced off of other sites. It's not that hard, believe it or not. But there's no authority in boxing. There's not one commission that oversees this, and then you could have like a branch of that commission. You like the tech commission. Nobody wants to pay into that. These are things that if you want them to function, you have to pay into them, like taxes, like municipalities, like your garbage man, like your police officer. That's the kind of thing that would have to go on in boxing to where the sport itself can take care of that. That is never going to happen.
Can I just say this real quick?
How much would that cost?
I think it's expensive, because it's a line. Dana White talks about how much he has to spend on anti-piracy each pay-per-view.
Legitimately, it is expensive, though. For you to catch up with piracy, it would be expensive.
Here's what I think could happen to combat piracy. There's going to be some congressional hearings, right, with the IP holders about particular technology, and that screen capturing technology. They're going to discuss the legality and the illegality of it. And what's going to happen is they're going to find ways to see if they can outlaw it. That's my estimation.
Well, I would say that the way that they're doing it basically is someone will be watching a fight in a particular region of the world, and then they will host the fight by way of mirrors screen mirroring basically, because that's what they're doing. Like it'll be somebody in the UK, for example, and they'll screen mirror something on a site. So really it's the screen mirroring that you have to go after. And that privilege, you know, in other words, because it's a privilege to do that. Like we could do that right now with this with StreamYard, to where we can watch a video on YouTube as I stream. That's really what they have to go after. You can't, obviously you can't shut down the signal. You shut down the signal, you shut down the fight. It's the screen mirroring that you have to stop. And I don't know that they're going to be able to do that. They might be able to. I don't know. It's kind of like I remember when you used to send emails, right? They limited the file size now. You used to be able to send entire albums by way of an email. Now you can't do that. You can't, you literally can't. The file size has to be small. So maybe that's kind of the solution they would use, that no more screen mirroring, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Cause where there's a will, there's a thief.
Facts.
We'll see. Yeah, like when motherfucker want to steal some shit, they gonna steal some shit, man. This ain't a whole lot.
Find elaborate ways, man.
I gotta ask this: how good is this afternoon nap gonna be today, Jules?
Not that good, because I got to get my son in about an hour. Ain't gonna be that good. But yeah, it's the screen mirroring they have to go after, because that's how they're pirating those streams. They'll buy the fight and then use some random website to host it, and then you'll be watching a fight by way of a random website. So either you go after the website or the privilege of web mirroring, because let's say, you know, Drew has a website where he does this, and then we cancel Drew's website. Well, they can just make another one and do the same thing.
Yep.
So it's that's really where the dilemma is. Do you outright outlaw screen mirroring altogether?
But think about it, like
I
if they actually come up with a solution to this, that'll, you know, make the PBC fans hopefully pay for fights for once.
Nah, I mean they just won't watch them shits, bro. They just won't watch them shits, bro. Like for real, like you really think, bro? If they had the money, they would buy the fight. They don't have the money, bro.
It could be like that one guy. Remember that dude Jules on your space talk about, like he saw Burchell versus Valdez and talk about Valdez was getting washed. And oh yeah, well I actually never saw the fight. So
Yeah, it's a silly ass childish, but that would have to be the solution. It's the screen mirroring you have to go after. That's what you have to do. You have to do
Screen
something.
capture cards, man. They're gonna be outlawed.
I mean, as far as web hosting, you know, like as long as I can still screen record shit on my phone, who cares? But screen mirroring, that is what you have to go after. You have to go after that. Mm-hmm. And then how do you stop web developers, you know, like rogue web developers, from developing websites where they can, you know, write it into the code that they're screen mirroring? It's tough, but that's what you have to go after. Very tough, very tough. But it's possible. Does the technology exist? Yes. Is boxing organized enough as a sport to deal with it? Absolutely not. Nope. No way.
Once they find out how much it costs, be like, fuck this.
You know, that's, and why do you think it hasn't happened yet? Because the cost outweighs what they'll say. That's why Dana White can do it, because they can afford to do it, and they know they're going to get X amount of pay-per-views to offset. Like Jules' favorite rule, your favorite word, Jules, the operational costs.
The operational costs, but also it's like you ask basically, does the cost of the technology is it worth the benefit? If boxing were organized and together, yes, it actually would. You'd be saving millions and millions upon millions of dollars. But boxing isn't organized. It's fragmented, which is why these things happen. You know, Top Rank is at odds with Matchroom. Matchroom is at odds with PBC. PBC is at odds with everybody. Golden Boy's at odds with. So nobody's working together for the benefit of this to be like, yo, we're gonna do something about it. Everybody would need to come together. That's not gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna happen, bro.
Unrealistic fantasy.
If you look I remember the Musso report for how many people stole the first Wilder versus Fury fight. I believe it was 2 million people stole it in America. 1 million stole it in the United Kingdom, and that was just those two countries. So when you think about that, they're like, God damn, 2 million pirate streams. If you can turn even a quarter of that into profit, then yeah, it's worth it. A quarter of that, like a quarter of 2 million. Yeah, it's worth it. That's 250,000 bars.
You know how many people pirated the rematch?
No, not even. That's 500 and a quarter of that. A quarter of a million would be 250,000 bars. A quarter of 2 million might be like 500,000 bars. So, and that's a good number. But boxing is just not organized enough as a sport to take care of it. No, they're not. It's not going to happen.
I think over 10 million people.
And that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example of what Jules is saying, because UFC is organized enough to where ESPN will be like, okay, we'll cover some of that because we're getting a lot of money off those pay-per-views you do.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it would really be the network affiliate that handles that, because it's their loss, it's their signal. You know what I mean?
Like, you're right, it's their feed.
It's their feed, so the cost would have to come from them, at which point you would need a platform that cares that much about that to pay the cost to deal with this shit. It's like, bro, that shit is not going to happen. Just trust me. The most you can really do is try to put on fights that bring in customers. That's the best thing you could do, and it's the easiest thing you could do. That, look, there's going to be people that steal, but we can make some money if we're realistic and we stay within a budget. We can make some money as long as we're making fights that people want to see, because there's going to be people like me. There's going to be people like Drew, people like you that will, like, I don't want to deal with a laggy stream. I want to, pay for a product, and so that there's some kind of liability, some accountability. So if you're making fights that people want to see, that should take care of it. And boxing's problem has always been, y'all motherfuckers be waiting too long to do some shit, yo. You should have been got Spence and Crawford. Should have been got that motherfucker.
And this fight would have been worth more, the one we're seeing right here, if Benavidez had a belt.
Yeah.
Well, technically he does. He's interim champion, so.
I mean, he should have got off the blow.
Nah, no.
The shitty fights actually promote more piracy, because you have you have fights like Plant versus Benavidez, right? You got a fight like that. That's not a big part of a network's bottom line, like a Showtime, right? Like this is critical shit. Like Bob Backish is somewhere turning red or something. Like, nah, motherfucker don't care, bro. Motherfucker don't give a shit.
How many people are going to pirate that?
Exactly.
Yeah. And don't pay attention to all the hate you see about Crawford versus Avenation. A lot of people are going to steal it.
Yeah.
People go steal it. People are going to steal it because they're
going to hate steal it.
Now, if it was a joint effort from different promotional outfits and different platforms that stage pay-per-views, if it were a joint effort, boxing as a sport coming together to tackle that problem, there's actually a good chance that you succeed. But that's not going to happen, bro. You can't even get these motherfuckers to make fights. You can't even get them to do that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, I don't see a solution in sight for that. The only real solution is to keep business moving and keep money flowing. Make fights that people want to see. That's the best you could do. Because the quality of the product also has a lot to do with it also. You can't put out shit and expect fucking magic. You can't put out trash and expect fucking magic, bro.
Yeah. And they put out a lot of trash, man. They just flooded the market. It was supposed to be free fights for all. And now look at it. And they don't have the money, so they have to use pay-per-view to finance the fighters' purses.
Another doomsday scenario, though, is that we might be plunged further into a pay-per-view era where more and more promoters are relying on pay-per-view, because that's one thing that I noticed. You have small promotional outfits. Like there's a fight coming up, Jamie Mitchell versus Nina Hughes, right? That shit is on pay-per-view, bro.
What?
It is, though.
Where?
It don't, some website that it's like, bro, do I even want to give this website my information? I better use my green dot.
Well, I thought I thought she was on Matchroom. She's not fighting on DAZN.
You can't take the motherfucker out of Harlem for fucking fishing out a scam.
I'm telling you, like, because it's like, like, yo, you on random websites, you don't know what kind of cookies, what kind of Trojan worm, you don't know. You know what I mean?
So I thought Jamie Mitchell, she's not a Matchroom no more. What's going on?
Look, she's still going to do that Courtney rematch if Courtney wins. she's still gonna do that, you know, and that will be a Matchroom show,
So
obviously.
what you're saying is, Jules, when I buy that pay-per-view, I'm gonna meet singles in my area?
Bro.
Oh shit.
Be like Sharon is near you. Sharon is 5 miles
Play
away.
the new horny game.
But real shit is, I looked at, because I want to see the fight, obviously. I think it's going to be a good fight. And then I looked, I seen pay-per-view. I'm like, oh, God. And that's not the only one. There's a lot of small outfits I noticed that they don't even have network deals. And they're doing their shows on pay-per-view platforms. I'm like, fam, like, it's getting worse, actually. There's more and more pay-per-views.
It was just this year that I heard of pay-per-view.com. And now with this Avanesha fight, there's BLK Prime, there's fight.com.
Exactly.
Like, damn, it's like this is what I don't want is blow of like just this, you know, redundancy of pay-per-view.
I mean, it's kind of like how like streaming services keep getting multiplied. You got, you know,
and they add up and become
kind of like that
capable.
with pay-per-view sites. Yeah, it's kind of like how streaming
It's
sites.
incredible.
See, I just got up the nerve to start, only a few months. Just got up the nerve to really start using fight. Well, I'm gonna say I've been using fight since DK versus Shields, because that's the ones that did that.
Right.
And you know that they've been doing a lot of the shows. Like if it's a boxer show that ESPN didn't pick up, it's gonna end up on fight. Like this past weekend show with Jonas and DK. And that didn't cost nothing, you know what I mean? But it shows that it is getting worse. Like, in other words, there's more pay-per-views. Where you would think that piracy results in less pay-per-views, they're actually coming out with more pay-per-views from how much money they don't want to spend to do a show because it's too risky.
And it's going to be more because the market's resetting, Jules. So all these fighters are going to get humbled real quick. They could have took. They're going to get. They're like Gary Russell. Oh, millions beneath me. Okay, Gary, you want to do pay-per-view? Okay. Oh, you only got 300,000.
Drew, you know the rumor is that Javante might fight Gary.
That's the only fight that could sell over there.
They doing that shit in DC, and I know you ain't about to fight Ryan Garcia in fucking DC.
I mean, that fight sells in DC anywhere in the country. They'll travel.
DC, but Gary coming off a loss and an injury.
Yeah.
Real shit. Like, I'm like, the only fight, like, obviously, if it's going down in that area, it ain't Ryan. So let's just get that fucking shit right out the way.
So Ryan's not, him and Tank and Ryan's not happening? What a shock.
I know. I'm shocked too, bro. I can't believe it.
Wow. Damn.
And,
you know
and people are just like I tweeted Jules an article yesterday that Paramount, Warren Buffett bought more. They're priming up Paramount to get sold, which just further adds to like, okay, they're going to get rid of all the shit that's caca. They're getting rid of all the basura, all the diarrhea.
And motherfuckers don't understand that when you see people doing stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, they gonna cut the fat. They gonna trim the fat. But it's like, no, let them keep saying shit, because that's how these fucking narratives get debunked. Go ahead, keep thinking shit is sweet. That shit is not pulling no views for Showtime, fam. It's not. What makes you think they would want to keep it? It's not pulling no views.
You would think, Jules, if it was making money, they'd do more cards instead of less each year, right?
I mean, shit. I literally commented on his picture. Oh, shout out to Corey. Corey said, I literally commented on his picture. It ain't Ryan if it's in DC. That's basically a hometown fight. Exactly. And, you know, if it ends up being Gary, it's like, fam, y'all, for this dude is coming off a loss to Mark Mixayo at 120. This dude is legit coming off. He ain't even run it back. He ain't even try to get his belt back. It's probably going to be a year of inactivity, because when was the Mixayo fight? Wasn't that in February?
It was, yeah. It was early this year.
Bro, it's like, yo, you can't make
even Mark fought twice this year. Even Mark got 2 fights in this year.
Yeah, he won one, he lost one.
And it's going to be, we called it, this is indicative of where Boots Ennis' career is going to end up.
Yeah, it is, though. And that's why I said I fear for his future, because on some real shit, ain't a lot of shit going to change at 147, bro. It ain't. And it ain't a lot of shit going to change at 154 neither. Al Heyman got a death grip on them belts. And until that changes, guys like Ennis, they think they're kind of fucked. Yeah, you're kind of fucked.
140's pretty much ruined. So over there.
Yeah, they got the IBF and the WBA. That's fucked.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just is what it is, bro. But in terms of the piracy, yeah, that's where it's at. There's so much piracy. Networks don't really want to put up the money no more, which results in more pay-per-views. That's how bad it is. You would have thought that the number of pay-per-views that don't bring in nothing would have resulted in less pay-per-views. No, it's literally resulting in more pay-per-views.
But don't they realize nobody's buying these shits?
Yeah, but it's because the networks don't want to invest. If the in other words, you wouldn't have to worry about, like let's just say Fox. If things were going the way you would want them to go on Fox for the PBC, then you wouldn't need to stage as many pay-per-views because the people at Fox would be willing to give you the money to do the fight on regular Fox, which anybody can watch, not a pay-per-view. But because shit is bad, Fox is like, we ain't gonna give you all this money to fucking put on this bullshit. You better hope for the best on pay-per-view because we're not giving you that money. And then you put it on pay-per-view and people steal the pay-per-view. It doesn't bring in anything. Then Fox says, look at that shit. That shit didn't bring in nothing. Well, we really ain't going to give you money now. So what do you get? More pay-per-views. Because your only chance to pay for anything is if the fans pay for it. And they don't want to pay for it, which the network sees, which then the network don't want to give you no money. It's a vicious fucking cycle, man.
Yeah, they would keep repeating themselves.
It's just gonna get worse.
Yeah,
how long
it just reminds me of the Federal Reserve System. Whenever there's debt, print more money. What gives you more debt? Money.
And that's how I know these fighters and these managers watch this show, because they don't go back at us on Twitter. When I see them at fights, they don't say nothing because they want my dollar, because I spend fucking money and they don't get it.
Exactly. At the end
They
of the
watch
day,
this shit. They want Jules. How bad do they want us to talk about their fights and spend money? Because they know people watch this and know we spend money on all the fucking fights.
listen, I was surprised when Lou DiBella said, you actually know. If you go to the interview that I did with him, he must have watched the show. He said, you're actually pretty smart for a boxing fan. I'm like, how the fuck would he know that unless he was watching? It surprised me, though. It surprised me. I'm like, okay. Guess somebody watching this shit I'll be uploading. But it's look, man, we consumers, bro. We buy shit. And if you really want people to buy your shit, quality control. That's literally quality control.
And the PPC has none.
It has none.
Yeah.
Like a Virgil Ortiz, a young guy, a promising fighter, like a guy like that, for example. The most realistic thing is that, like, fam, you can't want an arm and a leg because you're not good for an arm and a leg. The same applies to Ennis. You can't want an arm and a leg because you're not good for an arm and a leg. That also applies to Keith Thurman. You can't want an arm and a leg for a fight because you're not good for an arm and a leg for a fight. That's established. What you did with Pacquiao, you did because of Pacquiao.
That's
not
right.
you. When we put you out there, you didn't sell shit. So if either you want to retire or this is what we got for you. Like, this is what we got for you, bro. This is what we can give you.
They be wanting the 4-piece combo and they're only good for a 2-piece.
This real shit. Like, it's quality control. Now, the good thing is that, look, Top Rank has a whole string of young guys, and they're on a major platform, and they seem to have enough backing from ESPN that they regularly stage shows. And they're good-sized shows. They're interesting fights. They regularly bring in at least $1 million. For all the people that like to say that Shakur is boring, all I know is over 1 million people be watching that kid fight. That's all I know.
Yep.
And I'm gonna break it down. The why ESPN is still spending money on Top Rank, because they look at, okay, how much is this card going to cost us? How much ad revenue are we getting? Okay, it's worth it. That's it.
Not only that, Drew, but their ESPN's parent company is Walt Disney Company.
No, what I'm saying is the only reason that they're spending money on Top Rank is because they get enough ad revenue from whoever's buying ads, whoever's sponsoring to be on ESPN Plus or ESPN Linear.
But the metrics are good too. Like,
the metrics are good.
Like, for all the people that complained about, and we were some of them, so we're not immune. But like Devin Haney versus George Kambosos 2, for example, that shit still did close to 1 million views. It did 900 and something views, and there was another show on that same day, Wilder versus Hellenius, that sold nothing. So
and that parlays into X one, so they can go to Tecate and look, this is what we did on this fight. These are our other metrics. How much you want to pay for some ad space? Bam.
Because ideally you at least want 1 million people watching your shit. You do. You at least want 1 million people watching your shit. You go to you look at Showtime's metrics, bro. They stopped printing ratings from how many people don't watch that shit. They used to come out with the ratings on Tuesday after
You gotta
every
find
card.
them.
You gotta go.
I mean, you ever wonder why
And here's
PBC
another
when
thing
they had
about that, though, fellas. Showtime, PBC is not generating no ad revenue on Showtime because Showtime's behind a paywall. Even DAZN puts commercials on in between rounds.
Yep.
Showtime is not getting no fucking money from their fucking boxing content.
Because they know that during that time on that particular premium cable network, the number of eyes that are on it is minimal, 200,000, if that, maybe 100,000. So it's like, well, what the fuck? What the fuck are we gonna pay for a slot on your shit for? Ain't nobody
Exactly.
watching.
They know Julius drinks Coronas during his lives. I'm like,
They know I be
you can't
happy.
even get a fucking million people to watch your shit. I'll give Julius a fucking sponsor before I give you a fighter sponsor.
I'm trying to tell. It's like that's for those that don't know. That's literally how it works. That's literally how it works. And when you look at ESPN's metrics for a Shakur Stevenson fight, for a fucking Devin Haney rematch, those two fights over a million, close to 2 million. Those two fights. Even though people say Devin is boring, bro, all I know is when he went to Australia, 1 million people, over 1 million people watched that shit. That is all I know. And when he did it again, close to 1 million people watched that shit. You think about a fight like Navarrete versus Valdez. How many people are gonna watch that fucking shit?
Ooh.
That's gonna be a good fight. The ad revenue is gonna come in. And it ain't on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So all I see is that when you look at all those different things, all these aforementioned factors, it's like, fam, it's obvious that Showtime is not doing good right now. Like, nah, how could you be?
No.
I had a question, dude. What was your follow-up question at Lou? I don't remember seeing that when he said you're smart for a boxing fan. Like, surprised.
I forgot what it was specifically we were talking about. We was talking about something specific. I don't think it's Serrano versus Taylor. You was talking about
Lou. You might have to get Lou on again just to go deeper.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. If Lou, I don't. Whoa. Whoa. But man, maybe I'll try for another interview. But yeah, man, it's like, yo, the shit is not complex. It's just that people like to lie about it, which makes it complex. They're like, fam, you're not bringing in no viewership. Your view, like,
too. Shout out as well.
For perspective, in 2017, Lara fought Hurd, I believe it was. Those were the lowest metrics for a main event that year. And the metrics for that were about 500,000 views. 500,000. You'd be lucky if you can get 500,000 views for a Showtime fight. Now, you'd be lucky. The only fight that did better than that the whole year, it's only one fight. Charlo versus Castaño. The rest of them shits, nobody watching them shits.
And that's I don't see how Plant Benavidez does over. Does Plant Benavidez do more than Triple G Lemieux did?
No.
Oh,
no. I don't think so. Triple G Lemieux did an estimated 150,000. That's what that did. Do we really believe that people really behind Benavidez like that? Are they really? Are they?
Yeah. Well, Dirk is, so.
I don't know, bro.
By the way, Jules, a couple questions. By the way, Country also said, do you think that Gary Odyssey is a worse choice than what, Tank has been fighting in recent years?
It is worse because it's a guy who's coming off a loss from 2 divisions south.
Yeah.
That's terrible, bro.
All he's done is fought guys who were moving up in weight. He's not.
Bro, all he's done is threaten people that he's not going to fight. Threatening if Terrence Crawford walked through that, man, you talking shit, bro. You've been saying that shit since the pandemic. You ain't trying to do nothing. Ain't trying to go nowhere.
He's not calling anybody out. It's just all I see from him is cryptic tweets and a black background.
Yeah,
he didn't want to run that back with Lomachenko either.
Nope.
You know what I mean? If you think about, you went from telling people, well, not even Javante, let's not blame him, But Stephen Espinoza will have gone from, yeah, I'm hopeful that we do Davis versus Garcia to Davis versus Russell. That's not a substitute, bro. Russell has no fans. If you do it in DC, you're hoping that it'll do well at the gate, because it's in DC. It's within proximity of their core supporters and their hometown fans. But at the box office,
a little role play right here, Julius. You're Steven Espinosa, and I'm going to ask you, hey, Steven, is this an adequate substitute for Garcia Davis? Why couldn't you just do a joint pay-per-view? Do you think people are going to want to watch this?
Bro, you already know the kind of weasel shit he gonna say. It's like fam, like how do you even have a job?
Probably the most he'll say is this is for social justice. This is about moving, bringing boxing back to the hood, blah blah blah, and all that shit.
Yeah, just a bunch of stupid shit. Like
boxing back to the. That's gonna be a hashtag. Boxing back to the hood.
Bringing boxing back to the hood.
Hashtag that shit, Jules.
Because that would have to be the angle, though. Bring boxing back to Baltimore. Yeah, I mean, like that would have to be the angle. Because who really high on? Like, bro, you literally lost your belt. You lost your last fight. You didn't rebound neither. You didn't fight nobody after that. So you could jump up 2 weight classes to 35 for this guy. This worse than the Santa Cruz fight.
Let me just say, give a hot take right now. Listen, if Espinosa promoted Boots in Philly, trust me, there'll be more of a buzz than Ward in Oakland.
Bro, it's a rat like
it's a shame. It's a shame that Boots and Danny haven't fought in Philly to pass the torch for Philly.
I've been saying that Boots should have been got that chance, but Danny said it's always some corny shit. We from the same city. We not gonna fight. My God, it's motherfuckers shooting at each other in the same city. Motherfuckers shooting at each other in the same city.
And that right there,
What are you talking about?
That right there should tell you everything you need to know.
The fucking least thing you could do is get into a fist fight with a motherfucker in your city. It's the least you could do.
On a pivot, Jules, what are the chances we get Adames to take the Boogeyman Yanni Beck challenge?
I'm gonna take that fight.
Nope.
Huh? They won't make it.
He don't control his career, bro.
I know that's what sucks. Because I fully believe he'd take that fight tomorrow.
I mean, look, if it boils down to the fighter, yeah, probably. But like he don't have that autonomy, bro. He's on standby to either fight Charlo or become champion once Charlo moves up. He don't have no autonomy. In fact, because I think he fought 2 times this year. Am I correct?
He did. Did he? I think he did.
That means that next year he probably won't fight.
Who he fight before? Who he fight?
I'm not playing. Next year he probably don't fight.
Who did he fight before Montiel? Was it Derevchenko, right? Or
he fought somebody, man. He fought some fucking body. Somebody, bro.
But he's been active though. He's been fighting. So yeah.
I'm just saying that because he's been fighting, he probably ain't gonna fight.
Yeah.
Probably ain't gonna fight. So
that's how it usually goes.
On that note, I'm gonna go pick up my son, gentlemen. It was a pleasure. I will holler at y'all.
Yeah. Holly, be in touch, y'all.
Peace.